Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition, the 10th edition of the Holy Flick podcast. Recording this on November 25th, 2025, with me, your host, Kenan King, and co-host, as always, Seth Scott.
Hey, how's it going?
Excited to come back after a brief hiatus for you guys, bring you more movie-related content. We're doing a little switch-up today. We're cutting out a little bit of the box office portion and the news portion of the show. I'm going to be doing kind of like a side show that'll be a little bit shorter of an episode, probably a lot shorter, to where I give that information more, I guess, like the movie biz side of things. But yeah, we're doing our reviews today of a bunch of stuff that we've seen, so we'll have definitely a full episode and maybe even then some worth of stuff to talk about with you guys. Seth has been to a triple feature, I think, since the last time we've done a recording, and a quadruple feature. Probably some casual double features, like it's nothing here and there too.
No big deal.
So yeah, we've both watched a good bit. Seth's definitely caught up on a lot more than I have. But we're going to go through, do some reviews of quick reviews of things that we've seen without each other that we both haven't seen, and then go through our movie games, random recommendations, blind movie draft, and our higher or lower game using the IMDb people's rating. And then gonna finish off the show with stuff that we have both seen and that we'll discuss probably ad nauseum on a lot of it, and maybe some spoilers in there too, so we might go through real quick and just say thumbs up or thumbs down and then go into discussion for people that have seen some of these things. So anyways, excited to be back again with you guys.
Yes.
Really missed it a whole lot, and definitely still want to do it all the time. I mean, I really wish I could do it every day, but make it a daily show. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and start out here. Seth, if you want to start us out with some of the stuff you've watched.
I'll go through some of the movies. I'm going to go back in time to I guess since the last time we recorded here. I've seen quite a few. I'm just going to kind of reel through these for the most part. First up, I got Tron Ares, starring Jared Leto. Great visuals, great soundtrack, original soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails, which is really cool. You don't see that very often in movies, at least not these days.
Yeah.
I still think Leto is just cursed. I don't know. I don't think this movie did very well, but I don't really know why. I don't think a lot of people were clamoring for another Tron movie. I don't think the last one did very well. That was in, I don't know when that was, 10 years ago or longer.
I would say about 2010, I want to say. I don't really remember. I have to look up on how it did at the box office, but I know, like, critically and from the people's standpoint, it's kind of become a cult classic.
Yeah.
But also the soundtrack from Daft Punk on that one that really did numbers.
Is that who did that?
Okay. Yeah, it's been sampled a whole lot since then. Yeah. Cool. So I think that was a hard thing to follow up with, but I mean, like you said, I don't think Jared Leto, I don't know what it is with him right now where he just can't be the leading man in a Hollywood film without it bombing. I think studios are still betting on him too much, and it just doesn't have the draw.
Don't know if it's ever going to stop, but I mean, good for him getting his money. I mean,
yeah.
Overall, there wasn't a performance in this movie that really gripped me too much. I gave it a 62 out of 100.
Gotcha.
I mean, popcorn movie, I guess, but not one of the better ones.
Yeah, I think it also being in Disney's hands now, which I don't know if the previous one was or not. I don't think it was.
Don't know.
It could have been, actually. Yeah, I think it was with Disney originally. Now I'm looking at it. But anyways, I think maybe the timing of it, and like we said, not having a strong lead, but I think people do expect more of a style over substance when it comes to that stuff, like give awesome visuals and great sound. So at least
which they did. Some of that. They did do that right. Yeah. I saw it in IMAX too, so that made it a lot better. So maybe if I didn't see it in IMAX, it might have been lower. I don't know. My dad wanted to go see it, so I went and saw it with him. He liked it. That's about the same, I guess.
It does show here for the Tron Legacy movie, the second one, which did come out in 2010. It was made on a budget of $170 million, and it made 409 at the box office, 409 million. So even if you double the budget for marketing and all that, it still pulled out about $60-70 million profit. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't got to check that one out. I do want to, just because again, I like the feel of Tron, or just that style of things.
Yeah, like I said, the soundtrack and the visuals would definitely be a fun movie. Like especially around, I don't know when it'll come to streaming. Probably not long, honestly. But it'd be a fun one to stream.
Wasn't the greatest though.
No, it just there was nothing in it. It just was like, wow, this is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
The plot was pretty obvious, which is a lot of movies are like that, but. Especially it can't be like that or not. Yeah. 10 years ago with Jared Leto, this probably would have done insane.
Honestly. No, agreed.
Maybe longer. But yeah, 62 out of 100. I mean, worth watching. Maybe not going to the theaters and watching unless you have an A-list. Next up, I got, Roofman, starring Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst.
Also had Peter Dinklage in it too, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be in it more based on the trailer. But he wasn't as much. It's still a good portion of screen time, but his character was probably one of maybe the best as it comes to being funny. But anyway, yeah. So starring Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Peter Dinklage, based on a true story, which I thought that was a joke in the trailer. I didn't know that it was real. That this guy, the Roofman, really existed in North Carolina or Arkansas, somewhere around there. Channing Tatum did a pretty good job. I think he's gotten out of his typecasting a lot from his earlier career, in my opinion.
I think the Jump Street franchise helped do that.
Yep, I agree. Kirsten Dunst was awesome, and she's aged like fine wine. Very beautiful woman. That's kind of like all I got on that one. It was based on a true story. It wasn't super long. It kind of went back and forth on whether they were trying to paint this guy as like a good guy who strayed because he had to, and then it kind of seemed like maybe towards the end he maybe just wasn't as good a guy as you thought, or they were trying to portray him as. It kind of leaves it open for how you want to interpret who this guy was. And then it kind of at the end it shows him and then the real guy and all the other characters, which I think's always like to watch that to see how close they got on the visuals of the people in the casting. I think I gave that a 68. It was fine. Again, it was based on a true story, which I think is always hard to do and keep it entertaining. But they did a pretty good job. And just seeing Toys R Us was just a massive nostalgia hit.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite
places for anybody that grew up. Yeah, like if you grew up in the 90s, you almost certainly went to Toys R Us at least once. And they did a good job of, I guess, redoing it, all the toys, and I hope that all that they put in the movie is what really happened. The guy is still alive, so I guess, if you want to believe what he said, that's probably true. But it was pretty cool what he did. He was a really smart guy, apparently. He evaded police for quite some time and escaped from prison. So even in the 90s, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So again, definitely better than Tron, I guess, if you want to go based on the scores. Whole different kind of movie though. A little bit heavy, I guess, especially towards the end. A big nostalgia hit. Pretty good acting, and that's pretty much it on that one. That's a thumbs up for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know when that comes to streaming or not.
That's another one I meant to check out. It looked pretty like a wholesome, low budget type movie that you don't really see a whole lot of anymore.
It ran a lot longer in theaters than I thought it was going to as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who.
Surprising.
Who did the distribution on that? But
But that was it for Roofman. 68 out of 100. Definitely a thumbs up. Worth a good watch on a Friday night. You got nothing to do. I think it's a good watch for like anybody, really. Maybe not kids, but
Yeah, Channing
like,
Tatum's a really likable guy. I mean, it's a rated R movie, so I don't know about for kids, but
right, not for kids, but I mean, as far as a couple whose tastes are different in movies, I think they both would enjoy this.
Yeah.
It is rated R, but there's really not
a whole lot of stuff
obviously
in there for it.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why it's rated R, but it's not as bad as you would think for an R movie.
There's
some more on this list that are.
That's kind of how I felt with Running Man. We're jumping ahead of ourselves, but when I found out that was rated R, looking back on it, I was like, for what?
Yeah.
Or why? Like, it didn't need to be.
Violence, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I just felt like they easily could have cut out a couple parts, and it would have been okay.
Him out on when he was rappelling,
yeah,
I guess.
But I mean,
I guess that was. Is that what it could have got?
SpongeBob. I mean, come on, like, I don't think that's.
Yeah, but not butts like Glenn's.
R movie. Now that's true. That is a rated R butt right there. But no, yeah, I don't really get that either on why it's rated R. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
All right, let's skip ahead to the next. Springsteen. Deliver Me From Nowhere. Was that the? I think that was.
Oh yeah, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Yep.
Jeremy Allen White. He does a good job. I mean, he's very talented, as everybody probably knows who's watched The Bear, and then of course, Shameless, which I've never watched, but I hear a lot of things about. I really kind of was disappointed. I'm not a biop guy. I'm definitely not a music guy, really. But I was still excited to see this. But there wasn't a lot of song. He didn't sing. I feel like in most of the Elvis and what was the one with Taron Egerton?
That was Starman, or not Starman.
Yeah, well, that's who. Yeah,
Rocket Man. Sorry, I mixed that up with David Bowie for a second.
I feel like they sung more in those. I feel like he did like 2, maybe 3 songs in this movie, if that. I was just kind of surprised by that, I guess, is why.
More, I guess, on life events than about like his performance.
Yeah, it was definitely more about his battle with his childhood trauma and depression in his adulthood or early adulthood, and which is a great message to send for sure. But it just wasn't what I thought, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. But when the music was playing, it was nice. Paul Walter Hauser was in it, somewhat briefly, but he was great, like he always is.
I feel like he's become like a cameo person. Remember, he was even in Running Man for a whole minute, also.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Strong not Jeremy Strong.
Jeremy Allen White.
No, I meant the.
Yes. The guy from
Succession. It is yes. Jeremy Strong.
Strong.
Did he do good in it?
Yeah,
I feel like he's always
again he did, but he was in it very briefly again. I mean, it was mostly Jeremy Allen White and then a girl who represented his first, serious girlfriend who they used a different name for in the movie, allegedly, gotcha. I guess, which I get. But yeah, Jeremy Strong's character was not in it very much. It was mostly
the trailer made it look like he was like the second most shown actor in it.
Same with Paul Walter Hauser, but he also really wasn't in it a whole lot. It was mostly Jeremy Allen White and the girl, and then the girl had a daughter from a previous relationship, and it was kind of them for a good 60-something% of the movie, and then so that it was a lot of difference in the trailers and what you actually got, but not in a terrible way. But it was mostly about his childhood trauma from his father and just the depression that he got from that in his adulthood and anxiety, I guess, as well. I guess it kind of depicted that first album he had, or not. I don't know if it was his first album. Again, I'm not a good music guy to talk to about, but I guess the first album he had that really blew up in like 85, I think is what they said. That's kind of how this movie at the last act was around how he kept changing everything on it. Like he would like it, and then the next time he'd come in, he'd want him to change it all again, and they were getting frustrated, and he was getting frustrated, and you could tell he's emotionally everything was weighing on him. And then he had the girlfriend that he didn't know what to do with because he couldn't spend time with her. And pretty heavy movie. Didn't think it was going to be like that when I went in. The ending is nice. You get to see his dad as whenever he's an adult, whenever Jeremy Allen White's an adult, Springsteen, when he kind of reconciles with him, sort of. I gave it a 66 just because I don't know. That this isn't for me, and I really was hoping there'd be more music anyways. So
yeah, I'm not.
Jeremy Allen White did a great job.
I love Jeremy Allen White. I'm not the biggest Springsteen person. I've just never really gotten into his stuff. I remember there's a movie that came out about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was about, I think it either took place in India or it was like an Indian American, but he like fell in love. No, he was actually in the UK, but he was like Pakistani or something. But he fell in love with Springsteen in school, and it like got him out of a dark place in his life. Oh. And he ended up like doing learning how to play the guitar and perform Springsteen songs, and he did it for like a school play and stuff. But it got to the point that Springsteen, I think, actually reached out to him.
Oh wow.
But he was like in high school. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie because it was really good, but that was probably the closest thing that ever got me into Springsteen. But I've never, like I said, delved into him, or I've never just been like a Springsteen fan, but I know that his fans are like cult-like in a way.
Right. I've known that. Yeah.
So I could see where the demand for a movie like this was desired. And so Jeremy Allen White, I think, is a great frontman. I don't think I haven't seen the movie, but I wouldn't say like the problems with it have probably much to do with him as much as like just the way the movie's structured or other things.
No, his performance was just as good as he always is. But yeah, I just think it was. If you're a Springsteen fan, you probably almost certainly like it because it does have his music and it does talk about his life, which I'm sure the fans want to know about. But if you're just a casual moviegoer, I don't know. You'd probably be okay with probably an okay movie to you, in my opinion.
I found the name of the movie. It's called Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the Light.
Yeah, a movie about Bruce Springsteen and an Indian kid. He's a British Pakistani teenager living in England in 1987, but I believe it's based on a true. It's either based on a true story. I'm pretty sure it is. Because, like I said, he ends up reaching out to him. I want to say that it was, it was based on a memoir. Because they even go through like pictures at the during the credits of it, which show
that's
the
cool.
actual guy and stuff. It has a 6.9 out of 10, but I actually
not bad.
I'd rate it higher than that, in my opinion. I remember when I worked out at the Marina, it was a movie I checked out one day, and I was a big fan of it.
Okay.
But yeah, I still want to check it
71
out.
71 Metascore.
71, that's not bad. It wasn't as good as I'm a big fan of Sing Street, the random movie to throw out there, but I don't know if you remember that, but I think that was a Netflix original. But
I never saw. I know what you're talking about. I've never consumed it, but I do know what you're talking about.
One of my 10 out of 10s actually for me.
Okay.
And I'm not even a big musical guy, but it definitely has that feel to it. But I believe it also takes place in the UK. That's why I thought about that. It's got a little finger in it.
Nice. Very hateable guy.
Yeah, 7.9 out of 10 on that one. Anyways, continue. I'll keep interrupting.
I'm just gonna these next two. Excuse me. These next two, I'm just gonna do quick. Like, there's just not a lot to say on them for me personally, anyways. Okay. First one is Good Fortune with Keanu, Seth Rogen, and Aziz Ansari. Funny movie. On my notes, I put down most of the laughs were in the trailer, which kind of sucks. I hate when movies do that. Yeah. Most of the big laughs, anyways. I'll watch anything with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, 100%.
And Seth Rogen a lot of the times. I like most of his stuff, especially the studio. And
yeah, it's like coming off the studio. I'm a big Seth Rogen fan right
now. I love that show. Basically, that's pretty much all I got. It was funny, short and funny. Definitely worth a watch. Thumbs up. Gave it a 66 out of 100.
Gotcha.
Nothing jumps off the.
Nothing too
That ran in
fantastic.
theater as well, longer than I expected.
It's actually, I believe it was still had like one showtime at the Franklin Thoroughbred. It was still going on like this last weekend.
Surprising. I mean, if you can go see it, still go see it. I mean, it's funny. If you want to see a good comedy.
Yeah, good cast too, and it looks like the story is pretty enjoyable.
It's kind of a unique, for sure. Keanu as an angel is something. This next one, I want to share my experience after the movie's over because it's hilarious. But Die My Love, starring Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, and Lakeith Stanfield. Lakeith? Is it Lakeith?
It's Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith, okay.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield. He was in it, but not a whole lot. I didn't even know he was in it until I saw him in the movie. Very strange, weird, and horny movie. Pardon my language there, folks, but it just is. There's no way to describe that movie other than those three words. Strange, weird, horny, wild, whatever. Jennifer Lawrence does put in a very good performance. This movie basically is a young couple, a young pregnant couple moves out into Montana, kind of into the countryside, and the husband leaves the wife. He goes to work, every day, and she's at home in the middle of nowhere. She has the baby, and it's kind of just her slow descent into madness and becoming in a manic state. And then her actively kind of asking for help, and the husband kind of ignoring it because he's going to work. The husband being Robert Pattinson, and then he gets a dog and leaves the dog there, and the dog's terrible. It barks all the time. It just sends her deeper and deeper. She's nude a lot of the movie. So if you are uncomfortable with nudity, don't recommend this movie at all because she is nude quite a bit. Very, very strange movie. It really dives deep into I guess a stay-at-home mom, honestly, like what could happen under the wrong circumstances, for sure. Kind of an eye-opener, really. You don't think about it. She acts out several times, and he doesn't leave her. But he doesn't leave her, but he doesn't, make an effort to help her in any way. So.
I see director and written by Len Ramsey. Fantastic. Director You Were Never Really Here with Joaquin Phoenix.
Great movie.
And Ratcatcher. And yeah, she's done a lot of independent stuff, but it's always seems to be very dense, I guess to say. But
yeah, it is a very heavy movie. You're kind of like on eggshells the whole movie because you're kind of like waiting, like, is she going to do something that's extremely drastic, which she kind of does sometimes.
Did not remember that Nick Nolte and Sissy, I think it's pronounced Spacek, who played Loretta Lynn, that they're both in the movie as well. That's some legendary actors.
Yeah, Nick's. They are the parents of Robert Pattinson. Nick's not in it a whole lot, but when he is, it's pretty good. But Sissy Spacek is pretty deep. She comes in especially towards the end of the movie more, but
fantastic actors at the very least for the movie.
Yeah, insane cast. Those 5 names really.
Yeah,
are insane.
Yeah,
but I mean, Academy Award winning names.
Yeah, 100%. Like Robert Pattinson's probably one of the biggest actors I feel like in the last 5-10 years as well. So having him be in it, and
longer than that, go back to Twilight.
Yeah. I guess as
far I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
More respected and more.
Hey, now you better be careful. Don't make anybody mad here. We'll get killed. They're pretty crazy fans.
I think I saw an interview recently say he would even go back, like if they did another one, that he'd be willing to be a part of it. And
don't do that, please. Don't do that. I can't believe he would say that. I feel like he's only saying that because he feels in his heart there's no way it could happen, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Kind
I
of
feel
hope they
like
call
he's
him on that,
spent
though.
like every day since Twilight. I feel like he's spent himself like spent time
Trying to get away.
distancing himself. Yeah, from
Yeah.
that.
He's done a really good job of it, in my opinion. But
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. I feel like. I mean, just think about the roles he's done. Yeah, he's done
think of what's coming out in the next 2 years.
one of the most legendary. I feel like acting turns. Because I mean, think about how many guys
Yeah.
hated Robert Pattinson when Twilight was coming out, and just as an actor and everything,
Yeah.
and thought he was stupid. And
And
then all of
now,
a sudden, it's look where we are now.
hey, he's Batman
He's our
now.
hero.
By the way,
Yeah.
by the way, he's Batman now. By
That
the
guy
way,
goes on to
could
be
you imagine?
Batman. If
Could you
told us
imagine
that
telling
back
somebody
then,
that?
no, they would have
Laugh in your
lost
face.
their minds. Even when he was announced, though,
Lights.
remember a lot of people didn't know
Oh,
that
yeah.
he did a lot of independent work or
If
didn't
it
know
wasn't,
about
yeah,
Lighthouse.
if I hadn't seen all his work in between and only knew about Twilight, I would have been up in arms. But luckily, I had like Good Time.
Yeah. Again,
stuff like that.
Lighthouse. Rover, was it Rover? I think it's called. He did a lot of weird independent
Rover's
stuff
good.
for a few years. Also did Tenet.
Tenet. Let me finish this.
King.
Die My Love.
Sorry.
68 out of 100. I was done. I really just want to share the ending, what happened after the movie was over. So, 68 out of 100.
68,
I really,
you said?
yeah, I was going to do 69, but I felt like that was just
Two on the nose. Okay.
2 on the nose. I had it, so I was like, yeah, I better erase that.
That's
It
fine.
is a good movie if you can get past. It's not an everyday person's movie. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's definitely an independent film, for sure. And I'll tell you why I know it's not an everyday movie person, because in my row at the very end, well, first of all, there's only like 5 people in the movie, but it was an early movie. But at the very end of my row was a guy who was probably in his 40s somewhere. I don't know. And we get up to leave, and he's in front of me, and we get down to the bottom where you're about to walk out of the actual movie theater, and I could see him like turn like sideways, like looking back, and I was like, oh, this dude's about to talk to me, which I wasn't really excited for. And then he's like, what did you think of that movie? And I could tell by the way he asked that he hated it. And I was like, which I was just honest. I was like, it was very strange. I was like, I liked it, but it was not what I thought it was going to be. And he was like, I hated it. And he just went from the time we got out of that movie theater all the way to the front. And this is in Franklin, all the way from the very back theater, like as soon as you walk in, all the way to the front doors. This guy told me how much he disliked that movie and all the reasons why. I don't know. I've never had that happen before. I laughed after the interaction was over. But he said if he didn't have A-list, which I didn't understand this. He said if he didn't have A-list, he would have walked out. I was like, well, that means you would have paid for this. I don't really understand that. Whatever. I don't know what he meant by that. But
I thought you were going to say that he said if I didn't have A-list, I would have asked for my money back. That
would have made way more sense.
Yeah, I would have left.
But no, that's not. Yeah, I don't understand what that was about. But yeah, he hated that movie. I think that is extremely strong. But that is his opinion. So.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if you're watching this with somebody and you will be uncomfortable in the scenes with nudity, I would not recommend it. But other than that, the movie is definitely worth a watch. Thumbs up. Kind of long, honestly. It was one that I was kind of checking the time on.
Yeah.
Because there were some extremely slow parts, but. Go ahead and knock out one more quick one. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. The third in the trilogy. The worst of the 3 movies by far, unfortunately. I love those first 2. Like they're some of my favorite movies, like popcorn movies. But this one just wasn't it at all. The cast, they had like 7 people. It's just like there's too many trying to be on screen.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I gave it a 62 out of 100. Like I said, the worst of the trilogy.
The ratings on it have been pretty poor. The surprising part is the box office has actually been better than expected. It's overperformed, at least on the opening weekend.
That doesn't surprise me because I feel like it's just traction from the first 2. But...
Well, that it's been like they said something like 7 or 9 years since the last one, so it's had a good bit of time to get like maybe some new fans in there. And I know they did some like late social media marketing campaigns online, like Jesse Eisenberg did like a magic trick on Jimmy Fallon that went viral, or he was doing street magic out in New York for people.
That's
and
awesome.
That went viral. So I have to look it up real quick and find the name of it. It's something I just discovered recently, and I thought it was kind of cool. I wish they did more with it, but it's like it's called like Fresh Mix or something like that. It has similar logo look to like Rotten Tomatoes, but it's like a word of mouth tracker for movies, which is pretty interesting. They take like a lot of different things into account, but basically the buzz around a movie, because they had like Wicked at like a 8 or a 9 out of 10, and Now You See Me actually had like a 6 or a 7. But again, they don't do as many movies as I'd like them to do, like on analysis, and they don't really give you like reports exactly on stuff, and it's just like a couple movies at a time. But I was going to tell you about that because that was kind of interesting.
Yes, that is really interesting.
But yeah, I was reading the other day about how Now You See Me was big time overperforming compared to projections, and it was kind of taking, it seemed like a little bit of Running Man's money on the opening weekend.
It's kind of surprising.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't heard many good things about it from
it's just
critical standpoint.
Too many people on the screen at one. I mean, they had the original 4 plus the girl they added in the sequel, so that's 5 plus 3 more. Yeah, they had 8 people, 8 magicians trying to get screen time, and it's just, I don't know, there's just too many.
I do see
plus Samuel L. Jackson, plus what's her name? Rose? Is it Rose Byrne? No, yeah.
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, I can't remember.
Yeah, Isla Fisher's one of the
as
original.
the villain.
I saw. I guess he might have been one of the new magicians, but it's looking like he is. Dominic Sessa. He was the main guy in Holdovers. Holdovers with
yeah, he was one of the 3 new ones they added.
Yeah, with Paul Giamatti. Yeah, he was one of the 3 new ones. Okay.
Yeah. There's just too many, personally.
Yeah, I get that.
I got 2 more. I think that you haven't seen Nuremberg, right?
Haven't seen Nuremberg, and haven't seen. You got The Beast in Me, and also Predator Badlands.
Predator. Completely different. I mean, the Predator series. This is like an outlier movie, but not in a bad way. I think it was a fun. Like, Predator's the good guy. A lot of comedic relief, but not. I mean, it didn't really take away, I guess. It was Trachtenberg, right, that has done Prey and
this one,
the animated. The animated, the Hulu. I think this is his deal. Like, he needs to stick with Predator franchise because he does it really well. I think this movie was.
It's kind of
go
like
ahead.
Is it Noah Baumbach or not? No, it's
not Hawley.
Baumbach. It's
Noah Hawley.
Yeah, that's
talking about Alien.
Alien as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they both are respective, like in their own ways, like big fans. It seems like of their own franchises that they're a part of, and do the source material really well and bring new things to it. All that.
They added a lot of the monsters they had on this planet. The movie takes place on like a singular planet, basically, and
where the predators are from, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
So the very beginning, they're on a planet. I guess is where they're from, but then within 5 minutes or so, he leaves and goes to this planet that's called like something that means like Death Planet, or I think it said means Death Planet. I don't know.
Gotcha.
And there's just death, monsters, all kinds of. They introduced like several different monsters that are like in a really cool way, innovative, not your typical, kind of like what Alien did, honestly, Alien Earth, and had a lot of pretty much where all the side monsters were more interesting than the xenomorph. The planet was cool, a lot of comedic relief. They had this little like monkey thing that was kind of like the comedic relief, but it didn't really take away. This is definitely a blockbuster type movie. Summer popcorn movie. Ella Fanning.
Yeah.
She plays two different like sister synths cyborgs. Does a pretty good job. It was fun. It was fun. I gave it down here. I gave it a 72. I think out of all the movies I have on here, it's one of the top rated ones.
Yeah, I think it's even one of the highest rated just in general of the movies in the last month. That was what was
it
shocking
was really fun.
is that as the release date got closer and closer for that movie, the box office projections were going down, but the word of mouth on like how good it was like skyrocketing. Like everybody was saying it's such a good movie, but I don't know if it just wasn't marketed well or what. But yeah. I saw some of their popcorn buckets when I went to the movie theater last weekend.
Very cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some really cool ones.
It's one that I still want to check out. It just it was pretty much one I needed to go either with a friend or by myself because my girlfriend has no real interest in that. Even though I think she probably end up enjoying it, but
I think I think this would be a good movie if you have a significant other who's not into action or whatever you want to call this kind of movie. I think they would still enjoy it, honestly.
She was the same
because it has comedic relief and.
But she was the same way with the Alien Earth show. She didn't really have much interest in that. But then once I started watching it and she would be in the room, she's like, "Oh, this looks interesting." Or I'm
this actually
watch
looks
this.
Yeah.
She was asking me for backstory and stuff. So I just feel like I never grew up as an Alien or Predator fan.
Right.
It was pretty big.
I think it was before us.
Well, I felt like it was pretty big in the 2000s, or at least with like the Alien versus Predator movie and things.
Yeah,
like
AVP.
There was definitely stuff coming out at the time that I still remember would be like in the DVD stores, like locally and stuff that it felt like were popular in pop culture. But I just never got into them. I tried to with Prometheus, I've said before, and I despise it. I never checked out the follow up to that. Trying to remember the name right now of that. The follow-up to Prometheus, but anyways,
Covenant.
Yeah, Covenant. Never checked that out. Yeah. Had no interest after Prometheus, but ever since Alien Romulus, I feel like the Alien and Predator franchise, both of those have gotten to be a lot more reliable on quality and have done a better job with the lore. And I'm not even, again, I can't really say that because I don't know the history of it. I'm just saying they're doing a better job world building and building up lore and getting me into the universes. Like before, it just, I don't know. I know it seems like cold and distant, and that's what it's supposed to be in those movies a lot of the time. But Romulus, man, like that's still one of the best thrillers of this decade for sure. And just
I definitely agree.
I know we've probably talked about it every other podcast, but
yeah, it does seem like that. But I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, it's just been interesting to see what those, like the IP for each of those, has done, and it's created a lot of excitement for people wanting it to cross back over again. Because from what I understand, when Alien versus Predator first crossed over, a lot of people were not happy with it. But now that it seems like there's creators on either side of the aisle that are again doing like great stuff with it, and they know what they're doing, like they probably could cross it over and make it pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, that's still something I still really want to check out is Badlands. I just, this last month or so in movies, I haven't really got to the theater hardly at all, but I definitely want to check it out. I'm glad to hear good things about it.
Yeah, it was a very good movie. Fun movie.
And then you got the Beast of Me and Nuremberg to finish this up.
Yeah. Beast of Me, I'm not going to say much on because it's kind of hard to without. Beast of Me is also going to be one of my The Beast of Me is going to be one of my random recommendations. So I'll just go ahead and talk about it a little bit here. It came out on Netflix. It's been out a couple weeks now, I think. It's just a miniseries, 8 episodes, starring Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys. I'm guessing that's how you say his last name.
I believe it is Rhys.
Brittany Snow as well. I think she was on like Pitch Perfect. I believe she was like the it girl on Pitch Perfect. And then also Jonathan Banks from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Mike Ehrmantraut.
Legend.
Also, I don't remember her name in real life, but she was also on Better Call Saul. Betsy Kettleman. Her name is Julianne Emery, but she's also in this miniseries. But anyways, Claire Danes is an author, recently divorced author who has a very rich man move in next door to her, Matthew Rhys. And she just instantly becomes suspicious. He's kind of an odd guy who takes an interest in her, and kind of unravels from there. Her son was killed in a car accident, I think 3 years prior, by a drunk driver who survived. The drunk driver survived, and she has to see him every day because they live in the same small town. Kind of, I don't want to say anymore because anymore will kind of let things loose, and I'd hate to do that. But it's 8 episodes. They're about anywhere between 45 to 52 minutes, miniseries, and it wraps it up. The ending of it wraps up pretty well. Very good acting job by Matthew Rhys, who also is in. I know him from Perry Mason on Max, but he's also been in The Americans. I never watched that show. It was on FX. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I know it went on for a while, and it always had good reviews, but I never checked
70
it out.
plus episodes.
I think I started around like 2014 or somewhere in that time frame.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's that and a Burnt. He was in Burnt with.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
great movie. 2015.
Yeah, it is.
I think. Yeah.
But yeah, The Beast. I mean, Netflix. If you got Netflix, which I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably do, because I feel like everybody in the world does.
Yeah.
Check it out. 8 episodes.
Well, especially
worth your time for sure.
Everybody in the world probably has Netflix now. With Stranger Things coming out tomorrow as well.
That too. It's currently got on 17,000 reviews. It's got a 7.5.
It's pretty
solid.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Pretty solid for an 8 episode miniseries. The Beast in Me. And then my last movie. Well, I got 2, but I'm just gonna hit them real quick. Nuremberg, the World War II, starring Russell Crowe. Let me read this cast off because it's pretty crazy.
Legendary.
Yeah. Michael Shannon, Russell Crowe, Rami Malek, Richard E. Grant, Colin Hanks, John Slattery. Good character actor. I just thought there was somebody else in it that was just top of the line, but I guess not. It's World War II psychiatrist evaluates the Nazi leaders before the Nuremberg trials. Basically, it all revolves around Hermann Göring, who is played by Russell Crowe, who was the second in command under Adolf Hitler. So technically, he was the acting leader of the Nazi Party after Hitler killed himself. He turned himself in, and then he was imprisoned in. Forgot where it said. Oh, I guess they eventually go to Nuremberg. That's where they have the trials at. And Rami Malek plays a psychiatrist for the army who's tasked with getting close to him and using whatever he can to help them find him guilty in a trial. It was like the first. Apparently, this event created all the case law for war crimes. And today is pretty crazy, because I guess the hardest part of this getting these trials was that nothing like this had ever happened. Like, nobody had ever been tried by another country for crimes against another country. So it took forever. It was between, I think it was the U.S., Great Britain, Russia, and I'm forgetting somebody else, that they all came together to try them in a court of law. It was, I think, around 20 Nazi officers. Yeah, I think that's right. It's a pretty long movie. A lot of dialogue, of course. It's not an action movie. Extremely heavy. It was directed by James Vanderbilt, who I don't know what else he has directed. I know he worked on Zodiac.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was a producer on Zodiac. I think he's mostly been a producer before. It shows he's only directed 2 movies.
Okay.
He's
He did.
written a good bit, but he's only directed a few.
Okay.
He
Wow.
wrote the Fountain of Youth movie that just came out. I think that was on Apple TV with John Krasinski and Natalie Portman.
Oh yeah.
Murder
I haven't
Mystery
checked that out.
2, Scream 6, Scream, Murder
Oh my God.
Mystery, White House Down. He did the story and screenplay for The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. And he did the screenplay for Zodiac. He produced and he did the screenplay. So this guy has a weird career.
What a career. What a career by this guy.
Yeah. He
Truly
also was
weird.
a producer on that Slender Man movie that has a 3.3. Yeah. It's,
We need to have to talk about that.
What a weird. He did Ready or Not. I don't know. This guy needs to be studied.
That is insane. Yeah. I want a movie made on him. ASAP.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he was related like the Cornelius Vanderbilt family, because I know a lot of them are. It's kind of like the Rothschild family, where they're in a lot of different areas,
right?
As far as the arts and stuff.
Right on here. It's extremely heavy movie. There's a scene towards the end where they're in court and they show some footage from concentration camps, because in this movie at these trials, of course, there's no social media back in those days, so pretty much everybody in this courtroom, besides the Nazis, of course, they're on trial, they hadn't seen any of the concentration camps. They didn't know what was going on there. They were only told that they were prison work camps, and that was it. They had no idea what was really going on there and all the atrocities, so they showed footage. And so it was basically all these people's first time seeing some extremely disturbing and sad stuff. I'd say a good 80% of the audience. This show was packed, by the way, when I went to it. 80% of the theater was probably in tears during this scene I'm talking about that lasted, I don't know, maybe 5 to 8 minutes. Of 5 to 8 minutes of just footage of concentration camps, and that's it. Like silence, just panning to the different characters in the movie, and they were crying. The audience, life was crying. Rough stuff. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say with that without downplaying it. But Michael Shannon was awesome in it. Russell Crowe was very good. And I gave it a 77 out of 100. It currently has, on IMDb, out of 11,000 reviews, 7.7 out of 10. So, I guess
on the same track.
Right, we're on the same track. Yeah, extremely heavy movie. Extremely heavy, especially towards the end. Because I didn't even really think about it during the movie that none of these people had seen like what had actually, like I forget. I'm sure, as most people do nowadays, information is instant to everybody.
Yeah.
But back then, of course, I mean, these were months after the war had ended, and they still were finding out about what had happened. Crazy. Sad.
Yeah.
Check it out. I mean, definitely recommend this movie to watch. Not kids, obviously, or maybe even kids. It is a historical moment, so do what you got to do there if you want to show your kids this movie.
Dude, it sounds like your highest rated movie to be in theaters in the last month or so.
Besides Blue Moon, yes.
Oh yeah, Blue Moon. I almost forgot.
All I'm going to say about Blue Moon is watch this movie. It didn't stay in theaters long. It's probably already available for rent, which sucks that you got to rent it for like $20. But maybe it's not $20. I don't know. But Ethan Hawke stars as a playwright, Lorenz Hart, towards the end of his career. So he's suffering from alcoholism and depression. Margaret Qualley is in it, who plays, I forgot the girl's name, but this movie was made based off of letters between her character and Lorenz Hart. That's how this movie came about. Also stars Andrew Scott, who is a great actor, in my opinion. And I think this is definitely my favorite performance of the year by Ethan Hawke. probably not. I thought it was my favorite movie of the year, but I don't know if I can say that. But man, what a performance by Ethan Hawke in this movie. He deserves an Oscar nomination for sure. Lorenz
Big
Hart
Ethan
also
Hawke guy.
wrote. What's that?
I said big Ethan Hawke guy over here.
Huge. You'll find out later when we talk about another thing. But
Yeah.
the movie Blue was named because Lorenz Hart wrote the song Blue Moon that is sung by Sinatra. Is that who sings that?
I believe
Several people have, I'm sure, by now. But yeah, it's a sad but happy movie, if that makes sense. Ethan Hawke was incredible. The vocabulary in the movie that he used was incredible. There was also like a little cameo of somebody that I looked up after because I was like, is this possible? And there's just from what I looked at, it was completely untrue, which is funny, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But I just thought it was, I don't know why they put that in there at all, but whatever. Margaret Qualley also has been in a ton of stuff this year.
Oh yeah,
she was in Honey Don't, which was.
She's gonna continue being in more stuff.
I think she's got I think she's co-starring in a movie with Glenn Powell too soon.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but
it's the How to Make a Killing movie. The trailer just came out today for it.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, all that young cast of actors that were in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood have gone on to take over Hollywood. I mean, just to be quite frank with you.
It's like that guy knew or something.
Yeah, it's like he has an eye for actors. It's just
a certain part of them, maybe.
Yeah, one specific part. Yeah, no. Yeah, you just look at them, like even just between like her and Austin Butler, but even Mikey Madison, and I don't know. Again, that young cast is insane.
Anna.
Isn't it Maya Hawke is in it as well?
Is she? I don't know. Probably.
I think she was. I'm looking at the list right now. Mikey Madsen. Yeah, Maya Hawke's, Ethan Hawke's daughter, him and Uma Thurman's daughter. She
Stranger
was in
Things.
it. Sydney Sweeney was in it.
The goat, the queen.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
let's not get on that right now.
Yeah, don't want to start a fight. That's cool. I'm glad to hear it was good.
Please watch Blue Moon if you get a chance. I understand if you don't want to pay $20 to rent a movie. I wouldn't do that for a lot of movies, but when you get a chance, definitely check that out, everybody.
It's towards the top of my watch list. I will have to talk about it more ad nauseum when I do see it.
And then I think that's it for everything that I've seen on my own. So I'll pass it to you. Yeah, not too much. Not too much. I was going to go see Sisu 2.
Yeah, Road to Revenge or whatever.
I think I'm going to wait till maybe this weekend or something. It's just not really one of those that is like, I got to get out there now.
Yeah. It was a pleasant surprise when we all watched that.
The first one was insane. It's really insane. Which I like. This is definitely one of those movies that is a popcorn like laugh, like there's at the stupidity and craziness. But
yeah,
it was a fun watching in the channel. I'm gonna pass it to you now for some things that I haven't watched that you have.
Okay, more TV than anything, but and not again as much as you nearly. But Chad Powers, first thing I'll list off, came out on Hulu. Had Glenn Powell. It's produced by the Manning brothers. Had some other people in the cast. I'm trying to remember the names of right now, but it was good. Kind of a harmless show. It actually is rated really highly on IMDb. I think it has a 7.6 out of 10.
7.6. It's pretty good.
6 episodes. It felt like really short and cut off, especially on the finale. It was like kind of a cliffhanger, just cut off, but it had a pretty good cast. Steve Zahn is probably one of the other big actors in it, recognizable. He does good in the show. Like I said, mostly harmless. I felt like there were some like tonal issues on. Sometimes it felt like more of like a PG sort of comedy humor thing, and then out of nowhere it would kind of like jump to like a PG-13R. I don't know. It
right.
It was funny. I always love like just Glenn Powell dressing up in costume and talking with a voice. He seems to do that in almost everything he's done in the last few years. Really, since that
Yeah.
Hitman movie
Yeah,
on Netflix, which is probably the movie that sold me on him the most. But just the whole idea of him doing that, and he also did it a little bit in Running Man, not much, but
Sure.
yeah, that just seems to be like a trend or type of movie or show within itself. But he does such a good job at that. I like the story. I enjoyed the show pretty good. It just, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't think it's as good as the ratings online myself, like a 7.6. But I do think in an era of like comedies not taking themselves seriously, we don't have a whole lot of these nowadays. So maybe people are just appreciating kind of a return to form for that sort of show or story. I enjoyed it. I'd say just based on the first season alone, probably like 68, something like that. 68 to 70 is the highest I could see myself kind of putting it. I did enjoy it. Like I said, overall, it kind of got to be the same old song and dance, and sometimes the jokes weren't the greatest. But while the finale does cut off like out of nowhere in a way, I thought it turned out to have more like heart by the end of the show than you would think. Some of the character development I don't think is done very well, but they do kind of like push his character over the edge, I feel like, on just being, I guess, enjoyable and likable in the finale. But I still think he has like a ways to go, I guess, as far as growing as a human. But and it feels like a lot of people in the show do, honestly. But anyways, it was good. I'd say if you were looking forward to watching it, still definitely check it out and give it a watch. Again, I think I really like Glenn Powell a whole lot. He just always does drama really well, but also does some really good comedy. So yeah, I'd check it out. Like I said, I enjoyed it, and I think I'll definitely be checking out the second season. But yeah, I do like there is a part like in the very first episode when he's figuring out about the whole idea of turning into a different person to try out. He's inspired by a Mrs. Doubtfire poster on the side of a building.
Oh my gosh.
Is really what gives him the idea. Because just giving you the backstory, his dad works like in Hollywood as a makeup and hairstyling guy.
Okay. Well, that makes a little more sense then.
Yeah, he's like supposed to be delivering his makeup kit to like a studio set, and then sees Mrs. Doubtfire poster and kind of puts a whole crazy concoction idea together. I mean, it's definitely like outrageous or crazy a lot of parts, and I think that's like the best and worst parts of it, I guess to say, because at certain times it works, and at other times it just feels like, again, kind of the same old joke running for 5 or 6 episodes. But I really could have honestly used more, especially to have like a hiatus. I hate the age of television, only unless you're like a mini series, like having 6 episodes. It's really short. And they're only like 35, 40-minute episodes. But yeah, there were parts where I laughed out loud for sure. I just think it's still got a ways to go for me. Yeah. The production value is really good. And there are episodes that definitely like stand out more than others to me, or moments that stand out. I think another cool part of it is getting to visit, like, because I mean, I think it's South Georgia is the name of the school. I'll tell you what, they play every best team in America on their schedule for that year. I mean, it ends up with them playing like Georgia. They played Tennessee in the season. I think they played Texas or something. Or Oklahoma. They're just like, it's hit after hit, but it makes it kind of neat to where they can introduce like different fan bases or go to these other places. But they don't really, I don't think they capitalize on that enough. Like they're not showing Neyland Stadium or any part of Knoxville or anything like that, or in Athens. But there's just a great part with a Tennessee fan at a Spirit Halloween store. That's all I'll say. But it's
oh god,
it's pretty hilarious. Again, it has some up and down moments, and like I said, I could see myself enjoying it more during the second season stuff. And there's some good storylines that it's predictable, but it's also kind of, like I said, just enjoyable at the same time. There's like a chemistry between him and another character that works pretty well. And it definitely, the last couple episodes definitely get kind of wild. But anyways, yeah, I'd say about a 6.8, maybe, or 68 or to 70 range, somewhere in there. But yeah, love Glen Powell. House of Guinness, I checked that out on Netflix. From the creators of Peaky Blinders. I really enjoyed it early on. There's a character in the show who like kind of runs the he doesn't run the brewery, like he's not a part of the family of Guinness, but he's the foreman or whatever you want to call him. He's the guy that actually makes stuff happen in the show. I'm trying to look up his name. James Norton. He plays Sean Rafferty is his name in the show. He was in Little Women. It's like he's been in a good bit of stuff, but stuff I haven't really seen before. I know I've seen him in something. Yeah.
He looks familiar, but I don't know what I've seen.
He was in an episode of Black Mirror. He was in the miniseries for War and Peace. Been around for a while. Doctor Who, he was in an episode. I don't know. Anyways, fantastic actor in the show, and his character is probably the best of the show. Definitely the most Shelby-like. I mean, there's some other Shelby-like characters in there, but I thought his character was one of the best. When it's first like getting into the backstories of each of the Guinness family members, really enjoyed that. Like, I really feel like just the first half of the show is better than the second half, which is stuff that I don't really feel like I see most of the time. It's normally the opposite. But as it just kept going on, it felt like a lot of storylines just kept getting reused and recycled. There was a couple episodes in that there's a character of the family, and it deals a lot with like the IRA at the time. And one of the local leaders of that is a female. He like, they have a hate relationship with each other, but I always, like, from the time they first started interacting, I was like, you know, I think I see some chemistry there too, and stuff like that they'll go into, but then they hammer it home like way more than I would have ever wanted them to. Like, oh, this has now become like the main part of the show. And you talk about being like sex and lust fueled on like Die My Love, like this show is definitely gets that way a lot of the time. There are multiple montages in different episodes where it's like these two characters are having sex as these two characters are having sex as these two characters are like, and it was flashed back and forth between each of them for like a few minutes. And I'm like, this is just like overindulgent, I guess, a lot of the time.
Right, yeah.
And just the characters just kind of started to get on my nerves, like characters that I enjoyed early on. I don't know, it just felt like they kind of got worse as the show went on, and I cared less and less. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed the production value of the show, like the production design and the costumes and everything, but really the production design is like out of this world, and the places that they're using, the locations and stuff, like it's beautiful, and the cinematography is really good. I just think I could use more with the story, and if you're looking for Peaky Blinders, it is not like your nonstop action, like bunch of great lines of dialogue. Like, there is good like writing in the show and some really good characters, as we talked about. Joffrey from Game of Thrones, Jack Leeson, he does a fantastic job in the show. Didn't even recognize him honestly at first, which is kind of wild.
No,
but when he first popped up on screen, it took me about 5-10 seconds to go like, is that Joffrey? Because he's wearing a wig in it too, but his character is so good, and it delves into like a lot of interesting themes. When it keeps it on like the dangerous side of things, like more like Peaky Blinders, it is really good. It's just like the lust side of things within the show, which I think it goes over the top with a little bit for me. But yeah, I binge watched it all in about a day. I was excited to watch it, and I really didn't live up to my expectations, to be honest with you. I'm glad I watched it, but it just wasn't as great as I was hoping it to be. I'd give it about a flat 70, honestly. Okay. Whereas Peaky Blinders would be one of my favorite shows probably ever. It's never gonna be anywhere near that list, but like I said, and I could see like a second
That's
season
understandable.
doing better or building more on it, but I'm not like clamoring for another season right now.
Right.
Saw Boy Kills World, which was
I've been
with
wanting to check that out for a long time.
yeah, one of the Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise also,
Pennywise,
which is kind of crazy.
Boy Wise.
I really feel like everything he's in, he just proves that he can do pretty much anything.
Anything. Yep.
Because in this, he's mute. It's described as a fever dream action film that follows Boy, a deaf person with a vibrant imagination. When his family is murdered, he is trained by a mysterious shaman to repress his childish imagination and become an instrument of death. His shaman in the movie, I'm trying to look up his name right now. He was in the Raid film.
Ooh.
He was Mad Dog, I think was his name in
the short guy.
Second one, yeah, the guy
Yeah,
that they
okay.
fight 2-on-1 at the end of the first one, which is still one
and
of
he's
the
still
best
dominant.
And he's injured, like, he's got like broken legs and stuff, and he's just giving them the business.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I can't find him on the cast list right now.
Here it is. Yayan.
Yeah, Jan Ruyan.
Yayan Ruyan. Yep.
Yeah, he was also, him and the main guy from the Raid also made a cameo in Force Awakens at the very beginning when the hallway scene with Han and Chewbacca, where they keep getting stopped by all these different parties that they owe money to, or people that are looking for them. It's like at the very beginning of the movie.
Was he in John Wick?
Yes, he was in the third one.
When he, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it shows he's in the third one.
That's right.
He's just a great action star. He's wild. Like, I think it gets to show a little bit more of like the comedic side of him a little bit in the movie and just how crazy he is or can come off as. And that relationship was pretty funny. It was definitely like hyper violent, just a hyper universe sort of thing. Some of the action, like I think of like Everything Everywhere All at Once, like some of the action that was used in that, where it's just like over the top and kind of fantastical, or sometimes it's stuff in his imagination. And the voice so he has an inner monologue voice, like a narration voice that's used throughout the whole movie. But instead of using his own voice, like Bill Skarsgård's voice, they use the voice of the guy from Bob's Burgers, who voices the main guy, H. John Benjamin. He also does Archer in the Archer television series.
Yeah, I love that show.
One random thing that he voiced, if you've ever seen a Wet Hot American Summer, you ever seen that? He was the can of vegetables that is talking to what's his face from Law and Order. You know, the guy that's like
Christopher Maloney.
Yeah, him.
That plays Stabler.
Yeah, he was the can of vegetables. I was talking to him like he keeps like
God, I did not. That's so random.
On his shoulder. Yeah, he's just a voiceover guy for everything. But I saw that was on there. I'm like, I have to shout this out because the most random thing. But anyways, yeah, definitely wild. It was pretty enjoyable. Just felt like the pacing at times was a little like choppy, and even like the way that they level up like continuously throughout the movie, sometimes like it just goes so fast. But also the guy that plays the younger version of him, because it starts out with his like origin story and sometimes has flashback, it's a Nicholas Cravetti who plays Homelander's son in the Boys show.
Okay.
And he actually, when you look at like, it does like a match cut between the two, looks a good bit like a young Bill Skarsgård. Never really would have ever seen that before.
Yeah.
But the casting director, I thought, did a good job on that, especially in the eyes. But yeah, getting to see him do like a straight up action role and a lot of martial arts and, you know, just firearms and stuff like that was definitely a switch up from, I feel like, the other stuff we see. I mean, he was Nosferatu, like Count Orlok and Nosferatu. So this guy always does like some crazy disappearing character acting, whereas like in this it felt like he got to, although he didn't get to speak, the difference in the way that he's done his like physique in this movie was just completely different than how he's done it in other ones. Yeah, pretty ripped in the movie. I'm not going to say as much as his brother in like the Northman or the Tarzan movie, Legend of Tarzan.
It's kind of hard considering his brother, I think, is a little bit taller than him.
He's just got a little more of a skinny, like cut look to him. But like I said, it was pretty enjoyable overall. Just like, I guess, an okay rent movie or to watch on streaming at home. I give it like a 62 for me. Just like I said, a little bit empty and pacing and some stuff that was happening. It's just like, this is wild, but it's not like an entertaining, or I don't know, over the top the whole time for sure. And some sequences that I don't think you could ever forget. But
right.
Yeah, that's on Hulu right now, as well as Chad Powers. And I said House of Guinness is Netflix. Watched the movie Saturday Night for the first time. That's about just a dramatization of the opening night of Saturday Night Live. The cast on that is pretty stacked, especially with people that don't appear a whole lot. Like William Dafoe has maybe 5 minutes or a little bit more of screen time. But he's definitely a presence when he's on screen, as always. But he's just kind of like a come and go character. Definitely weird in the movie. J.K. Simmons was in it for maybe 5 minutes tops. Just some people that popped up on screen that I was like, I forgot they were in this movie. John Batiste. It's got I'm trying to remember who else is in it. Oh, the Matthew Rhys guy you were just talking about before. He's in it. He plays George Carlin, a younger George Carlin.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job. Like, it was actually probably one of the better performances, and I felt like fit the I say character, but the person of George Carlin pretty well. I actually thought the standout performance, I think, out of the main cast for me was Corey Michael Smith as Chevy Chase.
Heck yes.
He was
love Corey Michael Smith. He's in Gotham. Plays Riddler.
He's been popping off with a lot of stuff in the last few years. He definitely favors Chevy like a whole lot in the movie. At certain points, you think they like digitally altered his face to look like him, because it looks a little uncanny at moments. And Dylan O'Brien is Dan Aykroyd. He did a pretty good job. I like Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
But I guess I was never the biggest Dan Aykroyd person, and knowing him in his younger years, like I was more familiar with him later on, like in the 80s and stuff, like Marx Brothers eras and stuff. Matt Wood as John Belushi. I feel like there were times where he was doing a really good job as John Belushi. I just think it's so hard to match that energy. It's almost like having somebody play like a Chris
Some
Farley.
people you just can't.
Yeah, it's really hard to emulate those
can't
people.
Happen.
Also, another highlight was, and he just kind of popped in and out of the movie, was Nicholas Braun from Succession, Cousin Greg. He played Andy Kaufman in the movie.
Another one hard to do.
Yeah, but I thought he did a good job. Although you just see in this movie how tall he is. Like, that dude's like 6'6", I think, or something. He should be out there balling for the Knicks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But
the Grizzlies, they need help.
Yeah, had a good cast. The guy that played Lorne Michaels, who's the main character in the movie, Gabriel LaBelle, he did a pretty good job. I felt like it never really took off, I guess to say. It had like the formula and all the beats of like, it was like leading up to the last like hour. It takes place over like an hour and a half, 2 hour span. Leading up until like they're about to broadcast the first Saturday Night Live show. I don't know how much of it is true, like fact or fiction, because like in the movie leading up to when they finally start rolling the cameras, which is pretty late into the movie, they don't know until like the second of, are we going to use like pre-recorded footage or are we actually going live? Because apparently NBC was only reason they greenlit the show was as a middle finger to Johnny Carson at the time, like with the contract negotiations with him on being on Saturday night. And within the movie also, Johnny Carson gives a phone call to Lorne Michaels, which at first comes off as friendly and then slowly delves into hard competition and trash talking and all types of stuff. But Jason Reitman, he wrote and directed it. He also stars. No, he didn't star in it, I don't think, actually. It was somebody else, but he's done a lot of stuff. Let's see here. As far as the stuff I just want to see written and directed. He's done the Ghostbusters movies of the last few years, The Afterlife and Frozen Empire. He did the screenplay for Up in the Air in 2009. Looks like in the 2010s he kind of fell off the face of the earth. But I know I've seen him on a lot of stuff. Maybe it's more producing roles as well. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I could see why it didn't really get talked about a whole lot once it did come out.
Right.
Again, it just never really takes off or gets as energetic as it's like attempting to be, I guess to say, with like the real time
With
look.
yeah.
There's a lot of long takes, which you see in stuff like Birdman or Revenant and things like that, or even Scorsese's famous for using that a lot. But not that it doesn't work here. It just, again, it's a lot of stuff to make it like feel like you're on the edge of your seat or feel like it's highly anticipated or suspenseful. But most of it just isn't. There are some like funny moments and things that are happening, but even sometimes I'm like, this feels so unreal. Like it'll do like a clock countdown. So it's like 10:59 p.m. and then it's 11:01 p.m. Sometimes it's like, there's a 5-minute scene that happens and then it'll cut back to the clock and it's like a 1 minute has passed and I'm like,
yeah, right.
No way all these events all happened leading. I mean, maybe they did, but the movie at least doesn't make it feel like this would all really happen within an hour and a half span leading up until the premiere. Like I said, there's some good moments in it, and there's I feel like if you're a big like Saturday Night Live fan or have been since they first came out, then this is probably like, you know, hand fit for you or handmade for you. But there's some interesting things that I found out, like Lorne Michaels' wife, who he was still married to when the show was coming out. She was a writer on the show, but she was also having an affair with Dan Aykroyd. And
oh wow,
Lorne Michaels knew about it and was like, I guess, kind of fine with it. I don't know. There's some weird backstory things that they bring up that most people probably don't know about some of the original cast members or about Lorne Michaels, because Lorne Michaels is pretty behind the scenes as well. But yeah, it was okay. Another like kind of harmless movie. It wasn't just like so bad like I'm mad at it or anything. But I'd say about a 60 for me personally.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. It's one I've been wanting to watch, but
yeah, it's got a 6.9. So it's another movie that's rated. Actually, the critic score is a 60, but the people score is a 6.9 on IMDb. Like I said, it's kind of harmless. It just like by the end of it, I wasn't left with a whole lot. Like, yes, there's some okay moments here and there. The production value is pretty good. Actually, one of the best people in the movie, I thought too, which I'm trying to see his name. I hadn't really seen him in anything else. Of course, it's got Cooper Hoffman, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son in this one as well. He did okay. Trying to see actor's name. I can't find it, but blonde guy wears like these glasses in the movies. I thought at first, like in the movie, that he was just one of the producers or, you know, crew members of the show, but then he was actually on camera at certain parts, like when they were filming Saturday Night Live. So I guess he was actually a cast member, but he was just kind of a no nonsense, tell it like it is sort of guy, and yeah, he did good. But yeah, another one that when I first saw the first trailer, I was like really excited for the movie. I didn't get to check it out in theaters and finally got around to watching it, and I just didn't think it was all that great. Like I said, it was kind of I guess felt almost like plastic or something. Like I said, it's like it tries to be like a lot of other movies. It feels like, or it has the feelings of these other movies. It's just very formulaic, and I don't really feel like it pulls it off like to the best of its abilities, especially with some of the cast that it has. But anyways, maybe Lorne Michaels too wasn't the greatest person to follow throughout all of it, because he's not, I don't know, not very relatable, I guess, in the movie, or his character is not the best out of all of them. But there's really not a lot of great characters either, to be honest with you, to follow. Right. Anyways, and then Ballad of a Small Player. That came out.
I have that on my queue.
Actually, Saturday night. Yeah, that's on Netflix. I just want to tell everybody. Yeah, Ballad of a Small Player, which is also on Netflix. It's got Colin Farrell, Tilda Swinton, and it's got mostly an Asian cast because it takes place over in where is it at? Macau is the city, which I haven't looked it up since then, actually, but I'm kind of curious to know. He talks about it being like the gambling capital of the world. They make it look like Vegas on steroids. Yeah. And it's like by the ocean and stuff. And the locations that are used, like a lot of the interior designs of places, is really cool. Colin Farrell does a really good job in the movie. When does he not do a good job?
Correct.
But it's I don't want to say like Uncut Gems-esque at all, but it's definitely just like another guy with a bad gambling habit, like a gambling addiction. This is when his past and his debts start to catch up with him. A high-stakes gambler laying low in Macau encounters a kindred spirit who might just hold the key to his salvation. I thought that I don't want to really say too much. There's something that they pull off at the very end of the movie that I think that they could have done without. It felt forced and like it was trying to do too much or be more than a type of movie that it really is. Whenever you do see it, we can talk about it. But like I said, overall, Colin Farrell was really good. It does kind of get also repetitive at times, but the style and the directing within the movie was like phenomenal. Like that's what I think carried the movie so much. And again, it was the director of Conclave, also All Quiet on the Western Front.
Great movie, Conclave.
Between Conclave and Ballad of a Small Player, the way that he just directs the color red, which is the weirdest thing to say, but the way that he uses red in his movies, just out of those two, is like, it's like I've never seen the color before. It's his use of colors.
I like that.
His use of colors, like in this, it's very neon. It's a lot of different colors. Like Colin Farrell wears these lucky yellow gloves whenever he gambles. Like a lot of stuff is like weird for sure. It's definitely a weird movie. And he's also got some like other like drinking and drug addictions on top of his gambling addictions, which with him being like the main character you're following, like sometimes when he's inebriated, like the camera's turning that way or the sound's turning that way. Like it's really getting into his perspective a lot. I almost feel like dirty after watching the movie, to be honest with you. But the kind of the journey he takes, it goes into some unexpected areas with his character and with the movie overall. I enjoyed it a good bit. It just felt like it did have so much like to do with style, and at the end of the day, like again, not many characters that you can attach yourself to, I guess to say. Just some kind of empty and hollow feelings a little bit with the movie. It's got a 5.8 and a 46. I don't think it's that bad of a movie. I would give it about a 66, I feel like. So
that's fair. I mean, I think anything that's 60 and above is 100% worth a watch.
Yeah, once I get into the 50s, I'm saying maybe don't ever check this movie out. And if I get below 50, I'm telling you, I don't believe you should ever watch this.
This is probably a Tubi original.
Yeah. No, it's a Netflix original. Yeah. If it was like a thumbs up or thumbs down on the movie, like if I was just going like straight like that, actually a lot of the stuff I talked about might be stuff that I'm like, you don't really have to check out. Like I'm not saying you have to go out and watch these things. A lot of things I've watched recently, I feel like are kind of that way. Like I could take it or leave it, or if you don't check it out, not the end of the world. But this is one that, based off the trailer, it looked like it had a lot of energy, and I was really excited for it. And it does bring those moments at points, but it's a downward spiral most of the movie, and I don't know. It's interesting in some ways, and like I said, I like the style of it a whole lot. Like that director, I would definitely check out more of his stuff, especially in the future, because it looks like he knows what he's doing. But yeah, and I just really like Colin Farrell a whole lot.
I love Colin Farrell.
Even as I was watching her, I got done with it. I was like, I can tell this is a movie that probably got some bad ratings, and I don't think it would just interest a whole lot of people. But like I said, for what it was, I enjoyed it a pretty good bit. Tilda Swinton was actually pretty good in her role. So it's an
odd person to cast in a movie like that. I feel like her.
Yeah, she's usually plays an odd
she's
person.
Good. Right, you're right.
Yeah, at certain points it has like a Wes Anderson type feels, but like when it goes into like his drug induced states and stuff, like I said, it gets pretty wild and out there. But yeah, I like I said, enjoyed it for what it was, and enjoyed the style of the movie and the locations they use and things like that. It feels like over time that's what I start like enjoying. Like if as long as you give me cool locations and cool looking stuff, like I'll at least enjoy it somewhat. I just
Right.
like a movie can be like transportive and also like have its own sort of feel, or be like, hey, haven't really seen many movies that are exactly like this. Like at least you're being like original or different, or those things. I give props just for that.
Right.
But yeah, again, Colin Farrell's great. So yeah, about a 66 on that one. Very last thing that haven't watched, or we both haven't watched, is Pluribus on Apple TV, from the writer, creator, many times a director of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan. He doesn't have as much involvement in this show as he did with Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. He created the show. I think he directed the first couple episodes. He's written on a few, but he's not, like I said, as directly as involved. So I just don't want people to think that's the case, mislead people. But the opening episode of the show is probably one of the best I feel like I've seen, as far as just doing so much legwork in the first episode. If you see anything about the premise at all, or just read the synopsis, which looks very confusing and weird, which it is, it does a whole lot in the first episode. Like lesser shows would have taken a season to build up
To get-
to something that was like, by the end of the first episode, I was like, wow, this is already multiple episodes worth of story progression. So it kind of blew me away. I also was like, I liked it so much at the end of the first episode, I think as much as anything, because I had no clue where it was going after the end of the first episode. It was very unpredictable. Again, you don't see that a whole lot nowadays. It's like, oh, I can tell that this will probably happen, or that'll probably happen. Like, if you watch just the first episode alone and you know nothing else about it, you are left in the dark completely. I feel like, is how are they going to make a whole show out of this? Like if they're like, oh, it's a 4-episode miniseries, I'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's like, oh, there's already a second season for this greenlit. How in the world? Like, where is this going? I still don't really know exactly. It's definitely gone into areas that I haven't expected it to, like would already. In some ways, it does stay like kind of surface level with things, or I don't want to say it drags after the first episode. At times it does, but I feel like there's always a great payoff for it. Like, it's like, again, you're just kind of like, where's this going? It'll have a whole 5-10 minute sequence when people aren't talking and things are happening. Yeah, kind of similar. Yeah, I think about like with like Severance, honestly, is the best thing I know to compare it to. With being like a having like a dystopian sci-fi sort of feel to it, but I don't know, I guess taking the edge off of it a little bit, I don't know, and focusing a lot on style as well. There's some camera techniques used in the first episode, dude, that had me like falling out of my chair. Like, it's so, sounds probably stupid to the everyday man, but like just the stuff that they were doing with the camera in the first episode, I was like in awe from. Like, I've never seen this done before. Like, a lot of creativity juices flowing in that show. And again, like the lore that they go into with it, or the backstory that's explained, which hasn't really been explained a whole lot, but just what they're doing with the show is very, very unique. And I've enjoyed it a whole lot. The first episode is still like the highlight of it to me, or stood out the most. But there are definitely moments and things that happen that it's another bizarre type thing, but I've really, really enjoyed it a whole lot. And again, if you like anything that has like those soft elements of sci-fi and the dystopia, all that stuff, then I think you'll enjoy it. Apple's been doing a lot of good stuff recently, and again, Vince Gilligan is a pretty reliable person, although again, he's not as involved as he was with Breaking Bad. It's still a great person to have be your creator and be like a person as a reference point. Right now, it's got an 8.5 on IMDb with 33,000 ratings. So it's highly rated. I want to see, the first episode has a 9.0. so it's pretty consistent with what I would feel about it, or even higher. And the rest of the episodes have been a downdraft. It's been an 8.5 on episode 2, 7.8 episode 3, and 8.2 for episode 4. I haven't seen episode 4 yet. Again, the following 2 episodes after 1, I was like, okay, again, going in a direction I did not expect it would. But
Right.
again, I didn't know where it would go either. So really, any direction it went in, I felt like was going to shock me. But I think it's pronounced, is it Ray Seahorn or Rhea?
Ray. I think it's Ray. Actually, don't quote me on it, but I think that's right.
Main actress in Better Call Saul. So teaming back up with Vince Gilligan in that sense. Yeah, amazing show. Yeah, she does a really good job. I don't want to go into too much of it. There's just times where I feel like she's not, I guess, thinking deeply enough about what is going on, or is not asking the right questions, I guess to say. I know that sounds vague, but again, even the show's vague. But yeah, whenever you do catch up on her or watch it, it'll be something we can discuss a little bit more on the actual moments or spoilers from the show. But I would definitely recommend to check it out. It's definitely going back to unique and original. It is definitely that. Definitely that. And I don't want to give away really anything. Because again, the first episode already does a whole lot that I could spoil people on just within an episode. So I don't want to.
That's what I've heard from everybody. How good this first episode was.
I'll just give you the quick synopsis. It's on IMDb because I feel like it's perfect and big enough. In a world overtaken by a mysterious wave of happiness, Carol Sturka, one of the few immune, must uncover what's really going on and save humanity from its own bliss. So before it said something about the most miserable person in the world must save humanity from happiness. That's the best description I know to say for the show. And as crazy as that sounds, but once you watch it, it makes a whole lot more sense. But very, very intriguing. And seems like it'll, again, just continue to surprise me and be enjoyable. But again, nothing like the very first episode. I don't really want to rate it because it's not at the end of the first season.
Right.
So I don't really even know what to say when it comes to that. If I had to just rate the first episode, I'd say like a 9.5 personally, or maybe even higher just off that one episode. I was just clamoring after that one, or couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, man, this show just like blew me away. I remember I had a dream about it the night after I watched it too. So definitely had a profound effect on me on the first episode alone. But yeah, I haven't watched
I had a similar experience with the Sydney Sweeney movie.
Did you know?
Edit that out.
Last week's episode I haven't checked out. The next episode comes out tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to catch up on it before tomorrow.
How many is it gonna have?
Like overall, 8, I believe. Okay. Overall, let me see.
I mean, that's what I figured. It would probably be
9.
8 to 10.
It's got 9. Which is interesting. It's got 9 episodes, and again, the second season's already been greenlit. Yeah, I really can't wait to see, like I said, where this is going, and to explain more of the backstory of some things, which I feel like will be left for like a finale. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, she's a great actress, and again, the stuff that they're doing in the show is like you've never seen anything like it before. And again, even just the directing in the first episode, I mean, I was just like, you could do a whole essay analysis of just like the directing techniques used in the first episode. It blew me away. A lot of just the way that they film like movement of people, like moving from one spot to another, as crazy as that sounds, like very unique. But yeah, highly recommend to check out if you have Apple TV Plus. I think it's really a must watch of the stuff that's on television right
Apple
now.
TV.
Do what?
So it's about to just be Apple TV, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think they're talking about dropping that.
That would
just
probably
randomly wanted to say that.
Makes sense, honestly.
Makes way more sense, but
don't know what the plus has ever really been for, but and then some. But yeah, I would highly recommend. Again, I'm a big Severance person, so that's the best thing I know to compare it to. But it's again just unique, and I think it definitely deserves a watch. So yeah, that's pretty much it out of stuff I've seen that you haven't. And now we can get on to our games before we get into some of the other breakdowns of the stuff we have watched together. That way we can both contribute to the conversation. If you want to start us off with random recommendations, I know you said that The Beast in Me is already one of those.
The Beast in Me is one of those. I'll go through it just real quick again, starring Matthew Rhys and Claire Danes, and Jonathan Banks too, I guess. He's not in a whole lot, but 8-episode miniseries, Netflix, mystery vibes to it, mystery thriller. It's got really good reviews on like 17,000 reviews, 7.7 or something, I think is what I said, which is honestly impressive to me. That's a lot of reviews for 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks. I think it's 12 days. Go watch it. 8 episodes, 45 to 52 minute runtime on those. Quick watch. Where's I had a list that I just made. Where did it go? Okay, yeah. The rest of my random recommendations are the Lord of the Rings extended editions, because my wife has never watched those, and we started watching them this past weekend. We finished the first one because it's like 4 hours long with the extended version. The best trilogy of all time. There's really not a debate, objectively or subjectively. It's just not. Like, the awards speak for themselves, and just the popularity and the reviews. I mean, it is what it is. I doubt we will ever have anything like that in our lifetime again.
Yeah, I think if you want to talk from a definitely like an objective point, like make a case for best trilogy of all time, I think it's hard to pick out one other than Lord of the Rings. I think from a subjective point, I do think there are some really great trilogies. I mean, the other one I think people would bring up, of course, is the original Star Wars. But for my personal favorite, like, I love the Fistful of Dollars trilogy. Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I'll tell you, I was talking about the other day, I'm not saying best trilogy of all time, but I don't think it gets talked about enough, to be honest with you, is the Rise of the Planet of the Apes trilogy in the 2010s. That is a fantastic trilogy. I think the first movie is probably the weakest, but even then it's still really good. But if the first movie had the quality of the second and the third, I think it would be undoubtedly like a top 5 trilogy and more talked about. But I wish people would check that out more, because again, the second movie is phenomenal and one of the best movie villains I think ever in Koba. But even the third movie as well, with Woody Harrelson being the villain, so good in that too. Anyways, but yeah, it'd be hard to argue against Lord of the Rings. Like you said, awards speak for themselves. I mean, it broke Oscar records, and it still holds them to this day. I mean,
That's really all I got. I was like, that's too many. That's 3 movies on top of the series, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, and that's probably like what 10-12 hours worth of content between those 3 when you're talking about the extended edition.
Yeah, the extended edition. The first one, the extended edition, is just under 4 hours, and I'm pretty sure the Return of the King, the third one, is like 4.5, 4:32 maybe. Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Great movies.
And there's not like a fast forward spot either. It's all good content. What you got?
I rewatched it for the first time, actually, last thing about Lord of the Rings, just last year, since I was a kid. The first time I watched them, I remember, was on a portable DVD player in the back of a car on a road trip.
People probably know what those are.
Yeah, I was probably like 11 or 12 at the time, but it'd been that long since I'd watched them, so I gave them a rewatch last year, and they are so good, man. I mean, you talk about a movie that'll like teleport you to a whole nother world. It's one of the best on that. I just play shower music at work all the time to calm myself down.
It's good, man. It's everything about. There's so many good quotes and life lessons to live by.
The difference. I mean, the only thing I could think about is honestly something like a Harry Potter franchise, where different movies carry completely different tones than the other ones. Because you just compare like Fellowship of the Ring to Return of the King, like the feel of those movies are completely different. Like Return of the King is so much more serious and epic than like Fellowship of the Ring is epic in its own way, but it starts
as a whimsical, just kind of.
It's one of the most calming
good little
movies
adventure.
I think I've ever seen. Like You talk
Even
about a
at the
movie
end
is-
when it gets, a little chaotic, it's still not anywhere near.
I just want to snuggle up on the couch on like a rainy day and watch Fellowship of the
Yeah.
Ring over and over. Like it's just,
And then
it's a
Two
great
Towers is kind of, I kind of describe that as depressing, honestly.
Yeah, it really is kind of that way. Honestly, yeah, I would agree with that.
With what goes on and just the tone of the movie.
I remember
Most of it, not all the movie.
I remember I hated the Two Towers when I was first watched it as a kid. I didn't really remember that much of Fellowship. The one part I remember the most was Bilbo when he freaks out at the ring and his face pops out of himself.
I love that you brought that up because I told my wife when that happened, I was like, that literally scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Oh, dude, like it was so
I looked at her and told her that
Smeagol,
immediately.
Smeagol as a kid was freaky.
Oh, man.
I mean, there was some stuff that was like nightmare fuel as a kid, but I remember I loved like Return of the King, and that was probably what stuck with me the most when I was a kid, but I didn't remember it that well. It kind of felt like a fever dream of watching those movies. So getting to rewatch them was great. Love a lot of the characters in that, and actually like even Rings of Power I've enjoyed a whole lot. I just love the whole Middle Earth universe and
just a
lot
great
of the
vibe.
backstory, lore. Yeah, great vibe, the different races and everything.
I'll tell you what, just not even really, it is on the Lord of the Rings. I rewatched the Hobbit trilogy last year, the extended editions of those two, which of course they had them. That's so slept on and overhated.
Well, okay.
It really, I understand, like, one, it had to follow that, so, good luck. But
okay,
Martin Freeman did a phenomenal job.
The issues with that franchise, in my opinion, taking those three films as a franchise. Number one, still to this day, and I've said it since those movies came out, it should have been 2 movies, not 3. I think
That's fair. Completely fair.
Drew it out way too much. If they ended with like in the first movie with the meeting of Smaug, I think that would have been perfect. You could have made made him a little bit longer. Dude, one of the few villains as an adult that still gives me chills down my spine just thinking about him. Like terrified me. Benedict Cumberbatch, incredible job. Watching the behind the scenes mocap of him though is hilarious. But
have you seen that of Skarsgård with Pennywise?
Yes.
Dude, they're so good.
Yeah.
Just to get off subject,
but yeah, okay, the first movie I really enjoy, similar to Fellowship of the Ring, where it gives you those more whimsical vibes, like you said. Love Desolation of Smaug. I thought the second movie is the best of the trilogy, in my opinion. I'd go 2, 1, 3. The third one I think is pretty bad, in my opinion. Especially like as it gets more into the climax of it. It's just
jumbled
so kinda,
and like it's jumbled and not good and.
The whole
like the very end,
running up against gravity.
I don't even want to talk about that. I mean, that was just outrageous for no reason.
That's what I mean. It's just kind of outrageous. That's a good way to put it for that third movie, and just didn't capitalize. And the way Return of the King felt so epic, and you're like glued to the screen, and it's like you're watching history unfold.
I still think about that. That everything about that movie, I still think about that, and remember like what I was doing, like where I was at when I watched it, all that stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think.
I do have a
don't think it holds
question if you might not know. I've never read The Hobbit. Is Legolas in The Hobbit, or they just put him in the movies because they wanted like that?
Yeah, they wanted his name in the grab. I don't believe you could correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that he is in them. I only read I remember in junior high, I started trying to read The Hobbit, and I would still like to go back and try to read those books because, again, I love the universe and the lore and all that, but those are so hard reads, dude.
Yeah.
There'd be pages and pages of them just singing like a song in a different language, like the dwarves singing.
Yep.
It was so hard to follow.
I checked out the Fellowship of the Ring from the Dixon Library about a month ago. Maybe 2 months ago. And I read the first like 50 pages and I was like, man, I can't do this because 50 pages in, they hadn't done anything because like you said, they'd been singing half the pages and the other half, he would be describing like a blade of grass for like two and a half pages for what's in somebody's pocket. I'm like, all right, man, I understand the beauty in this, but So I just got an audiobook of Andy Serkis reading it, so
That's probably better.
which is
Actually,
awesome. Yeah.
not that this is a book podcast, but the book I'm reading right now, Blood Meridian, Cormac McCarthy, who also wrote No Country for Old Men. Very hard read of a book, and I don't think
all his books, literally all his books are hard reads. What are you trying to say?
I don't think I've ever had a book disturb me in this way.
Isn't the Blood Meridian? Is that the one with the
judge?
The judge?
Yeah,
yeah.
He's considered to be one of the best American novels like in history over time, but it's also like one of the most disturbing. I think it's like they talk about like a Mark Twain, like Huckleberry Finn being like a classic American novel. It's supposed to be like a kind of a more modern classic, even though it was written like in the 60s. But it has like that same era of like writing as like Huckleberry Finn. Like there are at least 10 words on every page that I have to Google because even at the time though, I felt better about that because it said even at the time, like the language he was using was considered to be very archaic, using terminology and stuff that hadn't been used in hundreds of years or 100 years. But yeah, he'll describe like the shadows from the rocks on a mountainside for like a whole page, and it's actually quite beautiful in the ways that he describes things. But a lot of the things, it's not that it's so like hard to read, like because of the vocabulary and things like that, which is hard in itself. But the descriptions of things, dude, it almost makes me puke like off of reading it, or I don't want to tell other people because I don't want to put it on them too. But it's like I almost have to vent after reading a couple pages of that book because it's tough, man. It's a nightmare.
I've seen some like snippets of that specific book and that specific character, the judge, and it's pretty rough.
Yeah, he's introduced
to say the least.
He's introduced in the first 10 or 15 pages of the book, and his introduction, his character introduction, is one of the greatest I've ever heard, read, seen, anything. Nice. In a bad way, but it just sticks. I mean, within 4 or 5 pages, he makes his introduction, and it's one of the most like diabolical things I think I've ever read before, heard of. Anyways, off topic, but real fast, Legolas is not in the Hobbit books. Just a fact check on that.
I did. I figured that was the answer, but might as well have asked.
But yeah, good recommendation. So for sure.
Yeah, what you got?
So I've got one that I think you'll definitely agree with me on. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as we're getting to Thanksgiving
I'll be watching that. I'll be watching that in 2 days.
I was going to say Thanksgiving's in 2 days. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of the few Thanksgiving films of all time, but also the best one. Steve Martin and John Candy. I just rewatched it the other day. Actually, rewatched it the other day and just absolutely love that movie. And just their dynamic between Steve Martin and John Candy alone is so good.
If you can, this is for you and for everyone else listening. There are a lot of deleted scenes that are out there. Look those up because there's some funny ones.
I watched the one, I think that was actually on the last podcast maybe that you told me about it.
On the airplane
food. Yeah, I watched that. It was pretty hilarious.
So funny.
You gonna eat that? He's gonna eat that? Where she gets her hair in the brownie or something. And
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, that'd be definitely one of my recommendations. One of the best comedies of the 80s and just in general. And just has a lot of heart to it as well. Again, the whole speech John Candy gives, I still think is one of the better movie speeches I think I've ever heard. Yeah, that I don't think I've ever recommended this before, but this is one of my 10 out of 10s and a documentary actually, which is not common on my 10 out of 10s, but it's called 13th. It's on Netflix. It came out about 10 years ago. Let me look up actually when it did come out, but it's Ava DuVernay who directed the film. She also did what was it? Did she do Selma?
I saw her.
She produced. Hold on, let me see, because she was turning into like a huge director in the mid 2010s. She did direct Selma, which is probably one of her big breakout directing performances. But yeah, that 13th documentary, it's got an 8.2 on IMDb, 81 critic scores, so pretty much critics and audiences alike agree on it. This is an in-depth look at the prison system in the United States and how it reveals a nation's history of racial inequality. It's a movie that I feel like I've not every day bring up, but I've continuously brought up anytime, especially the American prison system, that issue gets brought up. Does a phenomenal job on the history of the 13th Amendment, and kind of how slavery has never truly left America, in the sense that it just turned into imprisonment was the loophole
Right.
for slavery, and how that was used quickly after the end of the abolishment of slavery, even though in some places, like we know in Mississippi, pretty recently, they just now abolished it. It's just so happened to stay in their state constitution.
Oh, yeah. By mistake, of course.
Yeah, oversight for 150 years. But the history behind the 13th Amendment, and also like privatizing of prisons and how that's been used for labor, kind of how America has always, its backbone has been free labor in a way, whether that came from the era of slavery or even post-slavery. But very, very educational documentary, very eye-opening, and again, probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen before. Although it's on the different end of the spectrum, one of my other favorite documentaries is the Would You Be My Neighbor one about Fred Rogers, another great documentary. But anyways, it's a great one. It's on Netflix original. Highly recommend that one if you're into documentaries at all, or just want to educate yourself. Again, highly educational. One that we're going to end up talking about here in a minute, but Frankenstein on Netflix, the new Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaac, and I'm all of a sudden blanking on the guy's name that plays Frankenstein. He was in Euphoria. Is where he got to start. Jacob Elordi. He also played Elvis in the movie last year about was it Priscilla Presley?
It was Priscilla, right?
Yeah, Priscilla is what I thought her name was. Yeah, Priscilla, and it's it's Coppola, right. Sofia Coppola. I believe she's the one that wrote and directed it.
The daughter, right?
Yeah, daughter of Francis Ford Coppola. Christoph Waltz is also in it. Always a pleasure to see him on screen. Mia Goth.
Maybe not so much in this movie, but.
Yeah, no, that's true. Definitely true. I just always love to see him in a movie. Charles Dance, who played Tywin Lannister, also in the movie. He's in it pretty briefly, but he plays Victor Frankenstein's father.
Pretty good impact, yeah.
Yeah, another Game of Thrones actor, or not Game of Thrones. He was in Game of Thrones. He played Walter Frey, David Bradley, or Walden Frey, who was also in Harry Potter, is what I thought of him from. But
Filch.
Filch. There's a few actors in here that are actually Game of Thrones people, but I really enjoyed it a whole lot. I'm not a big Guillermo del Toro guy. I have always respected and appreciated him and his vision and the kind of gothic feel that he brings to a lot of the stuff. Definitely, he brings stories from like the 1800s, like fantasy gothic stories, like to life. Very romantic, and all of his production design and everything is always off the charts. I feel like this is probably one of my favorite movies of his, actually, because I don't know what it was, but it worked for me really well. On Netflix, the telling of the Frankenstein story. I haven't, I want to say I haven't read the Frankenstein book, the original one by Mary Shelley, but if I have, it's been a very long time. Yeah, I feel like I did like in junior high or something, but I'm not the person to ask on how faithful this movie is to it. But from everything I've seen, everything aside from kind of the ending of it, is very faithful to it. Definitely different than the Frankenstein that I feel like has been portrayed in like the last 100 years, is more of, I mean, not just in the way that brute, kind of just true monster, because they even said they weren't calling him like the monster, he's like the creature, because they said the monster is not a good description of Frankenstein's creation,
which is fair.
Yeah, and even his like character design is very different than the cartoonish stereotype that we've come to know.
Yeah, the bolts and
the stitches across his head and all that stuff.
Kind of like what we're going to see in January.
Bale. Yeah, I was about to say that with the Bride, but getting back to back Frankenstein stuff. But
crazy.
I really enjoyed it. Going back to a movie that teleports you, it definitely feels to do that. It's pretty long, 2.5 hours long, but I never really got bored with it. And I thought the way that they told the story, like a perspective story, similar to one of our favorite movies ever, The Last Duel. Um, it was similar to that in the way that it goes back and forth between characters, but really enjoyed it a whole lot. The biggest standout to me here was Jacob Elordi as the creature. Another one of those people, which I should just stop doubting that in Hollywood with guys where I'm like, oh, they're just, a pretty face sort of dude, and then all of a sudden they put in like an Oscar worthy performance, and
we're
like,
like,
oh yeah, never mind. They actually can act.
I shouldn't be so shallow.
Yeah, so envious and judgmental, but yeah, I think for me personally, I could see him getting nominated for like best supporting or something like that for the Oscars. Just the way that he does his physical work in the movie, like the way that he moves and things like that, or speaks. He's a definite like presence in the movie.
I liked Mia Goth. I think she did a really good job.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She's super underrated. I like seeing her in things.
Yeah, she was really good. Really, the whole cast did a really good job. I felt like all the acting was on point. Oscar Isaac did good. It definitely goes into a lot of like deeper themes that I feel like the book went on as well, like about man playing God, sort of thing, within technology and different things in its creations. Yeah. So it was definitely deeper than the other stuff I've seen out of Frankenstein. I enjoyed it a whole lot. Like I said, it's got a 7.5 on IMDb and a 77 critic score, which is really good. And it's got 152,000 ratings, so a lot of people were getting excited for it. I hated the limited release that it had in theaters because I
don't want to talk about that.
This is a movie I definitely would have checked out in theaters.
I boycotted it for a few days before I watched it because it ticked me off. Same thing's gonna happen with Rian Johnson's movie, so.
Yeah, the new Knives Out. Yeah, I can't really get behind that because this is a movie that I think would have been a fantastic theatrical experience,
insanely
with
good.
The crowd and everything. It deserved a wide release, and I just always say like at least a month, just give it a month, and then and I feel like it's always better for Netflix to do that because it's only going to build up the word of mouth. Like when they did that with Glass Onion, when they had like the 2-3 week release window in theaters, like whenever it did come to Netflix, it was one of the biggest stream movies that they'd ever had before, if not the biggest. And I feel like that came because of the word of mouth from theaters and people talking about it so much. So everybody's like, I gotta watch it as soon as it comes out. So I think it just does better overall, like either way. It's actually, so Pluribus earlier was #1 on popularity on IMDb for a TV show, and Frankenstein's actually #1 in popularity for a movie still, even though we're 2-3 weeks out from the release of that. So pretty impressive. Yeah, I highly recommend, like I said, if you're into anything like that, but even if you're not, like, I think there's so much to get out of it. And a lot of, there are some freaky elements, like Oscar Isaac, when he does his first exhibition or whatever to the crowd of people.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Definitely some moments that weren't that pleasant, but I don't think it really delves into that too much. Christoph Waltz moment wasn't the most pleasant either.
God, no, it's just it made me laugh, honestly.
Yeah, it was a little over the top. But yeah, I enjoyed it a whole lot. I'd recommend that. And those are my 3. The 13th on Netflix, Frankenstein on Netflix, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is currently on Paramount Plus, and you can find it on some other platforms, I believe,
Buy
as
the
well.
Movie, folks. Buy that movie.
Probably pretty cheap to buy on streaming services. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is like a yearly like rewatch film for me when it comes to holiday season. Definitely one of like my favorite holiday rewatches. But yeah, and I could even see Frankenstein, me checking this out like next Halloween and stuff. It becoming like a Halloween type movie for me. So those are my 3 random wrecks. Do you want to move on to blind draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to go first and pick in, and I'll read you off the list?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. The heck? Okay.
I've got another.
I'm pulling up my notepad so I can keep up on my end as well.
Oh, you're good. I've got another little theme going for you here.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying doing that. Makes it easier to pick on movies as well.
Crap. Where are you?
And after this, we can do our higher and lower, and then the looks at reviews of the
Couple
things
movies
that we
we've
both
seen.
watched. Yeah, which I'm really excited to talk Bugonia with you, and Lowdown. I mean, Lowdown, man, Lowdown. And
All
Chair
right,
Company.
I am ready.
A lot of stuff.
Did Chair Company too?
Okay, ready? All right. First movie to read off. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's go Christmas Vacation, actually.
How many are we doing again? 6?
7.
7.
Yeah,
Okay.
seven movies. Ranking below.
Number 1.
Number 1?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. No question.
Nothing. All right.
Well, this list may be taking a different turn than you think. Princess Bride.
4.
4.
Not a huge fan.
I know that's another cult classic, going back to that term. Number 4. All right. Third movie, Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
5.
5. All right. Caddyshack.
3.
3. I'm not the biggest Caddyshack fan myself.
Yeah. I don't think I watched it but like one time.
It's supposed to be one of the worst sequels of all time. Is Caddyshack 2.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Spaceballs.
2.
2. Okay. John Candy in that as well. All right, final 2. So you got Christmas Vacation number 1, Spaceballs number 2, Caddyshack 3, Princess Bride 4, and Ferris Bueller number 5. Last 2 movies. Let's see, Airplane.
7.
Oh,
Just not a big.
not a fan.
I don't know.
Sort of comedy.
It's
I guess?
funny. Yeah.
Slapstick, more Monty Python-esque.
It's fun. I just that specific one, not really.
Not really. Okay. I love Airplane myself. And your number 6. I feel like I just did this on purpose again, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I knew it. I knew that's what it was going to be.
That's what gave me the inspiration for this list was 80s comedies.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
I would just swap 2 and sit. Well, I would put Planes, Trains at 2 and then move everything down 1.
Move everything
And I'd be
down.
happy with that list. I still take Christmas Vacation 1,
Wow.
but it's tough.
I remember
Maybe
when we did
1A,
our Christmas
1B.
draft, forever and ever ago, with the full squad. I think that was your the one that you
Yeah, that was number 1.
vying
Man.
for.
The best.
Okay.
Okay. Let me get your numbers pulled up so I can keep up on my end. And 7. Okay. All right. What do I want to go with first? This will be funny. Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh wow. Just talking about that one.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say 5.
Yep. All right. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Oh my God. What is this?
That's just
This must be a
insanely
certain
long
year.
title.
This must be a certain year, like 2011 or 2012. 7.
That's fair. All right, next up, Thor.
The first Thor.
First Thor.
I'm gonna go 6 actually. Keeping the movies towards the bottom. I like the first Thor,
Never.
but not the biggest.
Never been a massive fan of it. Yeah.
I
Nothing
thought
wrong
between
with it.
that, the first Iron Man, and the first Captain America, it's definitely the weakest.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna keep working my way up the list and go number 4. It's a good movie.
It is. Yeah.
Definitely has its own feel.
Great twist.
Yeah. So we got top 3 left. I'm kind of scared here.
Yeah. Well, there's.
There's a movie
trying to think of how I would
my top 3.
Well, there's a couple that I want to put in, take out and put in now, but I'm not going to do that. Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Oh my god. I've put myself in a corner here. Number 3.
All right.
Oh,
Let's see what's going to be your top 2 here.
Now,
which one do I ask? I'm taking this one out.
I'm not crazy about any. I mean, honestly, the movie I'll probably be craziest about on this list is probably Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Out of all these. Now, Girl with the Dragon Tattoos are probably number 2.
Hey, this can't be right. This can't be on the list. Okay. Trying to think. There's one of the 2 I took out, so I'm trying to sub it back in. Something.
You just keep what you got. It's all good.
Yeah. I didn't really like the option as much as I thought I did. All right. Well, I'll just. Yeah. X-Men First Class.
Considering the rest of this, I'm going to go number 1.
It is a great movie, honestly.
Yeah, I guess I got to go number 1 just to be safe.
I love that movie, honestly. It's one of my favorite superhero movies.
I really enjoy it a whole lot. I probably would be the best out of everything so far, but I'm afraid that what comes next, I may have wanted at number 1 or I may have wanted number 7. I don't know.
You would have wanted at number 7.
What is it?
It's Green Lantern.
Ah, well, yeah. I don't know about 7, but it would have been
6, probably.
Yeah.
That's fair to put it above Twilight.
There's actually parts of that movie I really enjoy.
It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not overall, it's pretty bad, but there are bright spots in that movie. I get why it gets crapped on, but.
Yeah.
So you got X-Men First Class, Green Lantern, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, which I do like that movie. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I like that movie. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a great movie. Thor, I'm just not a big Thor fan. And then Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1, which is an insanely long title. I had Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, but I took that off. I don't know why. This is a top box office of 2011, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've
watched
Harry Potter so many times now that
but the whole list was
a lot more than Part 1. Yeah.
Transformers was number 2 that year, by the way.
Wow. Yeah, those movies are making a lot of money.
Well, I say only by, but 200,000 is the difference between Harry Potter and Transformers. It's really not that big of a margin. That's worldwide, though.
No, that's not much at all.
Domestic, the difference was like $20,000.
Golly.
Yeah.
They were neck and neck.
Pretty crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
The finale of Harry Potter was only 20,000 more than Transformers: Dark of the Moon.
Yeah, I feel like Transformers is probably a little more accessible than the last of big franchise like that. I don't know.
True.
Because at that point,
number 3 was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
Wow. Transformers outperformed
that was the one
movie?
Only by about not even 100,000, like 80,000.
You mean thousands or millions? Because if they're all that close, that's pretty wild.
Sorry, million.
Okay.
On the worldwide, I mean.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because Harry Potter did 1.3 bill, Transformers did 1.1 bill, and then Pirates did just over $1 billion.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm not that
Kung
mad
Fu
at the
Panda was
list.
6.
Like I said, I just wish. I mean, really, if Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Green Lantern were swapped, And then like
Yeah.
Transformers and Girl with the Dragon Tattoos, I think I probably would have been okay with it. I just put Rise too low early on. I was just afraid of the good stuff that was to come. But yeah, no, I'm not that mad at the list. Do you want to go first and higher or lower, or do you want me to go first? Do you still have that app downloaded or not? Because I can do it either way.
You mean on the computer?
Oh yeah, I have just the app on my phone is what I use. But yeah, I think you could use the website.
I have it bookmarked on my.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got it pulled up. I guess for you then, whenever you're ready, or if you want to pull it up and I can go first, whichever one. Right now, my high score is showing at 29 on my app. So
let me make sure I got the right thing. Okay. I'll go first. I got it pulled up for you when it's your turn, but I'll go first.
Okay. Should be an easy one to start off. Ford v Ferrari or disaster movie?
Oh my. If I lose this, I never want to play this again. Ford versus Ferrari.
Ford versus Ferrari.
If this loses, I don't want to.
Has an IMDb score of 8.1, disaster movie 1.9.
Oh my God. I did not expect it to be that low.
I didn't know it was that low either. I was expecting like a 4, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, like
okay, this is going to be a tough one on your second one. I think I might know the answer, but I'm not 100%. So Ford versus Ferrari, 8.1 on IMDb versus Silver Linings Playbook from 2012. So that I feel like that's a tough matchup.
Dude.
I'm going to stick with.
Yeah, that did win. But did it win Oscars for the movie or for that?
It was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Picture.
Was it Ford versus Ferrari nominated?
Yeah, it was also. I'm just saying, like Silver Lining. I mean, this is like a close. I think it'll be within like
I'm gonna say Ford.
2 points of each other. Okay, Ford. I'd probably go Ford as well. Silver Linings Playbook 7.7. That's almost what I thought it had. So yeah. Okay, so now you got Silver Linings Playbook 7.7 on IMDb versus The Untouchables 2011. Now that's a foreign film that it was remade with Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. It was based on a true story about like a multimillionaire.
Is that when he takes care of?
Yeah. Takes care of. It's the original version of that, which, okay, I don't want to say too much more, but yeah. That's the movie that it is. 2011 Untouchables.
So it's not the Kevin Hart, Bryan Cranston.
Not the Kevin Hart, Bryan. This is the original.
Because that would have been a lot easier.
French version.
No offense.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I don't want to say.
I'm just gonna go with the French one.
The French one, Untouchables. That's what I believe it is. I think it has like an 8.5. Yes, literally an 8.5.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I'm going to watch that one.
I was gonna say the reason I know it's rated higher is because it's on the top 50 movies of all time list on IMDb. Or top 75. It's
how much?
Up there.
What's the Kevin Hart one rated? Do you know?
I'm thinking it's like a low 6, but let me pull it up real quick just because I'm curious now myself. I think a low 6 or maybe even in the 5s. I know it was panned over pretty badly when you got Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart, and it doesn't really get much play. So,
random.
Well, it's not on this. Untouchables remake. The Upside is the name of it.
Oh, they changed the name.
Yeah, actually, it's got a 7.
Wow,
not bad. 7.1 out of 10, 69,000 ratings, and it's got a 46. So,
okay, hey, all right, good for them.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, so I got a 8.5 versus somebody.
Versus Moonrise Kingdom, Wes Anderson movie from 2012.
I've never even heard of that movie. I'm gonna be honest.
You've never heard of that?
No, I don't know how.
I was about to say it was pretty big at the time. It's got Bill Murray in it, Tilda Swinton's in it, Edward Norton, Bruce Willis, Francis
he's always got a ridiculous cast.
Jason Schwartzman. Yeah, it was one of the bigger ones I feel like for him in the 2010s.
I'm gonna stick with 8.5.
Okay, that's
tough to beat.
Yeah, good one to stick with. Moonrise Kingdom 7.8, so you were correct.
Oh, okay.
Now you got 7.8. This is some big hitters. It went from disaster movie to no more jokes after this.
Yeah, 1 point something.
Yeah, Moonrise Kingdom at 7.8 or Blood Diamond, Leonardo DiCaprio, 2006. It's probably a pretty close one.
7.8. I'm going to say Blood Diamond. I just feel like it's just.
I think it's an 8.0 if I remember correctly. It's an 8.0. Yep.
Did that? That got nominated for a lot of stuff, I think.
For Best Picture, and he did for Best Actor, I believe.
That's what
as he always does. But
yeah, correct.
Blood Diamond
first loser.
Yeah, Blood Diamond at an 8.0, or Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Episode 8.
Blood Diamond. It better be Blood Diamond, or I'm out of here.
Blood Diamond has an 8. Last Jedi 6.9. So you're right. Okay, now you got
it's
Last
higher
Jedi.
than I thought it would be.
Last Jedi 6.9 versus the original Lion King.
Oh man, I know what it should be.
I know what it is. For sure.
Yeah, it's got to be Lion King.
Yeah,
it's literally
Lion King's like an 8
classic.
something. 8.5 for Lion King.
Golly, I didn't think it'd be that high.
Oh yeah, it's like the highest rated animated movie I think on IMDb, if I remember right, or it's up there at least. Okay, Lion King 8.5 versus About Time with Rachel McAdams and is it Domhnall Gleeson, I think. 2013 love film, time travel love film.
I'm gonna stick 8.5. If I lose on an 8.5, I'll lose. I'm just gonna stick. I mean,
sticking with Lion King. About Time had a 7.8, so you're right. So About Time 7.8 versus Lucky Number 11. 2006 movie with Josh Hartnett, Morgan Freeman, Ben Kingsley, Lucy Liu, Stanley Tucci, and Bruce Willis.
I'm gonna go with
About Time.
Yeah, the one before that.
Yeah, About Time 7.8. Lucky Number 11 is a 7.7. That was close.
Oh
folks.
my!
That was close.
What?
Apparently
7.7?
Underappreciated movie because that's a high score.
Holy crap.
You won by 0.1 points.
No offense to Josh Hartnett. When I heard that name, I was instantly like, yeah, okay, I know what wins this.
Yeah, when the number kept climbing, I started losing my breath.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you won.
Barely.
Lucky Number 11 versus Scream 3. Again, Lucky Number 11 and a 7.7. Right,
I'm going to go with Slevin. Surely to God.
Scream 3 has a 5.7. You're on a 10-win streak right now. Scream 3, 5.7 versus Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. Oh, I love that movie.
It's got a 7.9. Good gosh,
wow.
that rating. Good gosh, that rating. 7.9 Thor Ragnarok versus The Conjuring 2, 2016.
Oh, I feel like this should be easily Thor Ragnarok. I'm just going to go Thor Ragnarok. I don't know.
I think you're right. I'm going to say Conjuring like a low 7. Yep, 7.3. Conjuring 2 at a 7.3 or The Game, 1997 film. Michael Douglas.
Is it the synopsis where he gets like somebody comes up to him and
it's like a psychological thriller? I know that.
Yeah. I think I know it. I've seen this movie
I've seen the poster a million times, but I've never watched the movie. The synopsis is a mysterious game invades a man's ordered existence.
Yes. Okay. I know exactly what was the previous number that I'm using for the last movie.
7.3 for Conjuring 2.
This one I'm gonna lose here. I think I'm gonna say Conjuring 2. I don't know.
Conjuring 2 has a 7.3. The Game has a 7.7.
Dang.
So that
was coming. I don't like a movie that much.
Yeah, 12-win streak for you.
All right, I'll take it. I can handle that. I got over 10.
Cut out for me. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The Mask, 1994, versus Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, that's kind of a tough.
That is kind of a weird one, honestly.
I feel like they're going to be kind of close.
I thought they're gonna be close and different score than you think.
I'm thinking that they're both like a high 6, low 7 area.
That sounds right.
Dude, I may lose off the
I
top.
don't know, man.
Failure to start. I guess I'm gonna go with The Mask. I mean, I'm thinking Jim Carrey at the height of his
7
stardom.
Oh no!
Forgetting Sarah Marshall like a 7.2.
7.1.
Oh my god!
We gotta do it. We can't do that.
That's a heartbreaker.
7.1. That's brutal. It played the gif
difference on the first
Jamie Lee
one?
Curtis crying after that movie.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we gotta run that back.
That makes me sick. I was even kind of leaning towards it's probably Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but
this is a tough one. Well, maybe not actually. Donnie Brasco versus The Matrix Reloaded. Probably not as tough as you think, actually.
You said Donnie Brasco versus Matrix Reloaded?
Reloaded, yeah. 2003. That was a third one, I believe, right? Or
yeah.
Is that the second one?
Or that's the second one. The third one is it's like it's not Revolutions. Is it Revolutions?
Yeah, it is Revolutions. They came out in the same year.
Yeah, they were back to back. I am gonna say Donnie Brasco.
Yep, Donnie Brasco 8, Matrix Reloaded 7.2.
Okay.
Ooh, Donnie Brasco with an 8 taking on Hugo 2011. Martin Scorsese picture.
Okay, I actually think I could tell you the score for Hugo off the top of my head. I'm thinking it's like a 7.8, 7.9. I know it's high. It is high, I believe. Yeah. Maybe like a 7.6.
That is only animated movies ever made?
Yeah, I believe it's only fully animated. Donnie Brasco.
Yep, 7.5 for Hugo.
7. Okay, a little lower than I thought. Yep. Okay.
So 7.5 for Hugo taking on Scream 2 in 1997.
Okay, I'll go Hugo.
In this movie. Scream 2 with an 8. I'm just kidding. Scream 2 with a 6.3. So.
I thought it'd be higher than Scream 3 at least.
This should hopefully be an easy one for you. Scream 2 6.3 versus The Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness.
An 8 flat.
Oh wow.
All right, an 8 taking on The Interview 2014. Seth Rogen, James Franco.
Oh. You said The Interview? Oh, the Kim Jong-un movie.
Yes, yeah.
Wait, what was the first movie again? I'm already blanking.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah, I'll take Pursuit of Happiness for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Interview like a 7.2.
I was gonna do it anyways. I wasn't gonna let you pick the other one. The Interview with a 6.5.
Oh, wow.
Versus One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
How did I go from the hardest first one ever
I don't know. 7.1 to 7. Yeah. 8.7. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest taking on Pitch Perfect 2012.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Pitch Perfect, I'm going to say 7.4.
7.1.
7.1, okay.
Yep. 7.1 of Pitch Perfect taking on Fast 5.
This is actually probably harder than I think it is.
I feel like it is too, yeah. I'm gonna say it's either like a 6.8 or like a 7.3. It'll be something stupid like that.
I feel like you said Pitch Perfect 7.1.
Uh-huh.
This is really tough.
This is actually a close one for sure.
This is also before like Fast really went. I mean, I guess you could say this is when it went off the deep end, but I think it was still pretty beloved at the time.
Right. No, for sure. I agree. The last one that Walker was in, I think, right?
No, Walker was in 7. I think he was in 6 fully, and then 7 is when they had parts of him with his brother in it. I believe.
Right.
That's how they did it. That was his send-off movie. Was 7, I think. I'm gonna go with Fast 5. I don't feel good about it at all, but
barely 7.3.
Oh, just like you said.
I was like, is it gonna be 6.8 or 7.3? Some stupid.
I was holding my breath.
Well, if you can remember, you're taking on Fast 5 7.3 versus The Conjuring 2 2016.
I think The Conjuring 2 is 7.3. 4 or 2. This is the worst thing for it to really be at.
It's true.
Because if Fast 5 was in the 6s, then yeah, I know Conjuring was in the 7s, but I can't remember what 7.
Right.
I'm gonna say Conjuring 2. These are back to back. I don't feel good about, but
it's a draw.
Oh,
you move
goodness.
on. I thought it was 7.2, honestly.
I thought it was maybe. I thought 7.2 or 4. I didn't think it was a 3. Okay, well, move
7.3 Conjuring 2 versus Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't really know. That's a tough one, honestly.
Again.
I mean, I can tell you which movie I like more, but
yeah, I would say Multiverse of Madness.
Not really fair because I'm not a horror guy, but still.
If it was the first Doctor Strange, I'd definitely go with that. God, 3 in a row where I don't even know what to say. Multiverse of Madness.
Ooh,
is that going to be a high 6?
6.9.
God, I thought I might have been in the 6s.
You scored a 9.
A 9. I lost this week. You got a 12.
We got some crazy matchups in that.
Yeah. Well, technically I have a 0 and a 9.
Well, yeah. We're not counting that though.
Okay.
Oh man, it happens. Anyways, on to our movies we've watched.
Yep, movies and shows.
Both watched.
We do have some shows.
I think we got more shows than movies.
On my list, yeah, we have 6 things to talk about, and I think actually it's half and half. It's 3 shows and 3 movies.
All right. Start us off with whatever.
Let's start off with Running Man. How about that?
Okay.
Glenn Powell, based off a Stephen King novel, also a remake of a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s. I enjoyed it a good bit, actually. Edgar Wright directing and writing for it. Had a really good cast also in Josh Brolin and Coleman Domingo, and Michael Cera was even in it for a little bit.
I loved him in this movie.
Yeah.
Your typical conspiracy theorist.
I felt like it was funny to see it right after Bugonia.
Oh God.
But
he was right. He was
right. As like a blockbuster and everything, I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought that they did a really good job on the kind of the world building within it for like the production design and everything. Doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot of blockbusters like that are kind of like this nowadays. Definitely had like an 80s vibe to it. Josh Brolin, I thought it was crazy just by giving him new teeth, how different he can come off.
Yeah, it's creepy and scary and easy to hate.
Yeah, his range is so good. But
it needs to be studied.
Again, I'm a Glenn Powell fan, so that probably helped too. I thought he did a really good job in the movie. I just the only real complaints I have about it overall was some tonal issues. Sometimes being like comedy that wasn't working or comedy that was, or even I feel like it kind of falls apart a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, the ending I didn't. I'll just be honest. I didn't like the ending. Was kind of bland. It fell flat.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like they were trying to maybe subvert expectations a little bit and do too much like in the last 20 minutes of the movie. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I like the themes that it had within it, a lot of relatable stuff for things that I think you could reference to other things in the real world that happened. But Coleman Domingo, I thought, was one of the big stars of it when he gets to narrate some of the scenes as it's live on television.
Yeah, right.
Or even like the ending with his character and stuff. I just really liked him a whole lot in the movie. One of my favorite actors that I've kind of discovered in the last few years. I enjoyed it. Good popcorn flick.
For sure.
Again, it touched on a whole lot, and I like the world of it. And I just thought, again, like some of the pacing and the tone stuff is where it kind of messed up, and the ending. It just
another thing that just like him and the girl at the end, like that was just so random out of nowhere. And
that's what I mean.
I don't.
In ways, it like subverts expectations at the end, but I don't think it's really for the better for the most part. Yeah,
No, I don't.
it was trying to again do a whole lot at the end. There were a lot of cool like callbacks or full circle moments within the movie, even talking about the laboratories on a plane. Little stuff that I feel like they introduce early on that is like called back later on in the movie after you've already forgotten about it. I think it does a really good job at things like that. Again, the look of the movie's great, the world of it's great. It just I don't know. It just kind of loses its way here and there. And by the end, I was just like, it didn't feel like it was the same movie, I guess, throughout a lot of the time. And again, it goes back to tone. But yeah. But I enjoyed it. For my score for it, I'd give it about a 74.
Nice. I have mine somewhere. Where did it go? I think I gave it a 70. Yep.
70.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the first
I liked it.
half hour of it was better than like, let's say, like the last half hour, in my opinion.
No, I agree for sure. 100% agree.
I also loved there was an appearance from one of the guys from Almost Friday, the comedy skit group. He was one of the 3 contestants for the Running Man show in it.
Right.
He
what was his name?
I'm looking him up because I don't know his name. But he did a really good job for like the small role that he had, and I just like to see him pop up. I was just like, oh, Almost Friday, them getting shout outs, some more recognition. He's not even on like the little cast list on here, but neither is Katie O'Brien, who she was one of the contestants too. So the way that they listed this out isn't the greatest. His name's Martin Hurley. Yeah, I guess you pronounce it Hurley, but it's not. It's Herlihy. But yeah, I think that would be Hurley. But yeah, he did a good job in it. I thought all the acting and stuff was pretty good, and again, Josh Brolin doing a good job. It sometimes it feels like it's like trying to say something more and be like serious, but at other points it just, I don't know, feels like it pans over itself a little bit. But yeah, I think a 70 is a fair score too.
Right. I think we're pretty close.
I think we both rated it higher than what it's actually rated. It's got a 6.7 on IMDb and a 56 critic score. So I thought it was better than the way it was made out to be. But again, it's not like life altering or whatever. It just
right.
It just wasn't your everyday blockbuster, and it was just a fun popcorn flick. And I never really like lost interest or like waiting for it to end at any point in the movie. Nothing like that. It was just certain decisions that they made that I was like not the biggest fan of, or disengaged me a little bit from it. But yeah, see, all the other ones I feel like we're gonna talk about a pretty good bit. We can go back to Frankenstein real quick if you want to.
Yeah, we can knock the rest of that out, what we thought about it. And
yeah, I think we got a lot of our thoughts kind of already out there.
Right.
I talked about the random recommendations, but again, just the acting performances, production design, the locations, the story of it, and again, the flashing perspectives, no real spoilers, but just between Dr. Frankenstein and the creature on their perspectives. I thought the way they did all that was really good, and just kind of flipping. I mean, it's funny saying like flipping the story of Frankenstein on its head, but it's a faithful adaptation.
Right.
It's just flipping the idea of like what we've come to know as Frankenstein. It's a lot deeper than I feel like a lot of the horror stuff that comes out. Yeah, and again, not the biggest Del Toro fan, but I don't know what it was for this movie, but it just worked for me throughout the whole thing.
Right.
It felt like a fairy tale, and again, that gothic romance, and yeah, it was a really good like winter watch for sure, and around Halloween time. Yeah,
I agree. No, I agree.
don't know too much more to say about it. Yeah, I'd say that Dr. Frankenstein, I definitely despise him more in this than I have in any other
no
iteration.
kidding.
I didn't expect to hate him so much, but especially since it's Oscar Isaac.
Completely agree.
But yeah, I thought the cast was great, and I mean it is pretty long, but I never, as another movie, I wasn't ever really waiting for it to end or anything like that. I was, it intrigued me in every scene pretty much, and thought the dialogue and everything was great. And the relationship between Dr. Frankenstein and the creature was really interesting. More of the creature and, was it Elizabeth? Was her? It's, Mia Goth's character.
Yeah, Mia Goth's character. Yep.
I wanted to say it was Elizabeth, but,
I believe you're correct.
Yeah, the dynamic there was really interesting. A lot of the character dynamics, I think, is what works so much in it. Probably one of the more bizarre things that just like kind of took me out was just the ship. I think where it starts out and flashes back.
Yeah.
To, I thought like the captain, I was just like, I like the character development that he has by the end of it, even though he doesn't play like a big role in it. Just, I guess, his change of heart in a way, and how he's learned from the tale, all that stuff. And just like sitting down and, listen to my story thing. I like that.
Right. Actually listening.
Yeah. I really liked that a lot, but, I just didn't really understand where the captain's headspace is at. I was just like, all these people dying, and
just
like,
die. Your men are being. Yeah, like why would he care whenever his men are being slaughtered?
Of course, I guess in another way, it's like, we're stuck out here. What else am I to do? I don't know. Right. I mean, the ship ain't going nowhere, and his men aren't going anywhere. So, another sense. But anyways, some of that stuff just kind of took me out a little bit on just the actual storytelling of it all. But yeah, again, El Rodi, or how you pronounce his last name, he was a complete, just like, presence is the best way I know how to put it within the movie as the creature. Every time he was on screen or anything like that, it just kind of made me hold my breath a little bit. And yeah, I just really like the way that they told the story overall. And again, has me wanting to go back and read the original book by Mary Shelley. And yeah, some good old school horror stuff that's been remade or adapted in the last few years. Talked about Nosferatu earlier too, but yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just really could have just been the day and the mood I was in too. But I enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going to, even though I was excited about it. I was kind of apprehensive again because Del Toro doesn't always do stuff that I get lost in. Like Crimson Peak, I remember I really enjoyed that a good bit, but I remember in the final act it kind of took me out a little bit. But just his style, like, it always feels like style over substance, and a little corny at times, or bizarre and weird. But while it did have some of those moments in the movie, again, going back to Frankenstein's like demonstration to the crowd, like, it just worked for me a lot more. I don't know. My score for it, I actually gave a 87.
Oh wow!
So
I gave I think
pretty high up for me.
Yeah, 82.
That's both in the 8s. So that's
it
good quality.
Very deserving. Yeah, the costume design alone was just, and the makeup. My gosh.
Yeah, got to be nominated for a few Oscars for this movie. I feel like. And actually, I watched they did a little short documentary on Netflix about the making of the movie. And I watched that like immediately afterwards. And I feel like it only gave me a deeper appreciation for it. Just the stuff that they were doing, practical effects and things like that, was really awesome. For basically that rest of that day after I watched the movie, I was watching interviews, stuff like that, to get
consuming
more
all
of
you
the
could.
scenes of it. Yeah, and it was really cool. Like I said, I respect a lot of the things they did, and just Del Toro getting to do like the Frankenstein story. I feel like it's one of those things he was kind of born to do, which I think he said that and Pinocchio were the two stories that throughout his life he's always wanted to tell.
God.
He's already done Pinocchio a couple years ago, both Netflix originals, but. Yeah, 8.7 and 82. I'd say that's one of those, like, get out and watch if you have any interest at all, for sure.
Absolutely.
What
do you want to hit up next? So we got Running Man and got two of the movies done.
Yeah. Moving on to a show, you want to do Welcome to Derry? I'm trying to save the best stuff for the last three. I feel like we'll talk about more than anything, but
right. Welcome to Derry has been intense at times.
Yeah, and
I love it
at times.
Honestly. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
I know you haven't watched the newest episode that came out 2 days ago. What is
Yeah,
today?
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Tell you one thing, it's hard to avoid spoilers on this show. The HBO themselves are putting out like trailers for the next episode, like as soon as the episode drops, and I'm just like, golly, man, chill out.
Yeah, they're definitely promoting it pretty heavily, and then I think the internet's caught a hold of it too. Something about
Yeah.
the It and Pennywise franchise that has its own following.
I love it. I love the show so far. I don't really know where they're going with it. I know that they already signed on for 2 more seasons.
Oh wow, I had no idea on that.
But allegedly, it's going to be like, because obviously Pennywise is like every 27 years cycle or whatever.
Oh, so to be like an anthology sort of thing?
Yeah,
maybe?
it's gonna, and supposedly it's going to be going back in time
That makes sense.
because they've already done, I think, so this show, and then 27 years from this is the new movies.
Yeah.
And then 27 years from the new movies is supposedly like the old movie, even though it's the same characters. So yeah, it just makes sense to go back. But I just thought that was crazy. They already
renewed it for 2 more seasons. That is wild.
Muschietti, and I guess that's his wife, obviously.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That did the original, or not the original, the 2 new movies plus Flash, right?
Yeah.
He did Flash.
Yeah, he did Flash as well. And I think he's still signed on to do more stuff for DC or Warner Brothers, of course, depending on how all the Warner Brothers stuff goes. Who knows?
Wasn't he supposed to? Well, rumors that he was going to be in charge of the Batman.
Yeah, the new Batman movie. Yeah, I think he still might be attached. I don't know. They need to do something like as far as the announcements of that. But again, with the Warner Brothers sale going on, I don't really see a whole lot of plans getting dropped.
Yeah, we're not going to know for a while.
This might be a conspiracy, but maybe James Gunn, like working so hard on getting the script for Superman 2 and getting that going so quickly, was so whoever buys them would be contractually obligated to have to do that one because it's already in production or in the works. I hadn't really thought about it that way, but that may be why he bumped it up so much. It's like, I may not get the chance to do this if we get sold and I don't have it already.
Depending on who we get sold to, yeah.
Yeah. Hadn't thought about that, but yeah, I've enjoyed it a good bit. The first episode definitely starts off wild, crazy, one of the most bonkers things
with
I've ever seen.
Bang.
And it ends on a bang too in the first episode. So that first episode was pretty crazy. It reminded me of some other show. Well, I don't really want to give anything away, but it reminded me a little bit of Invincible episode 1.
Oh my God, yeah, no,
with the way that it went down. I don't know. It as wild as it was, I just thought it was a little over the top for my taste and a little crazy in that first episode.
Yeah, the first episode is, yeah.
But as it goes on, it kind of wins me. It's won me back over a little bit more with the characters and some of the storylines and stuff. I still think, from what I've seen so far, so I haven't seen again the newest episode, but the cemetery sequence that they have is probably my favorite of the show so far.
Yeah.
Riding the bikes through the cemetery, I really felt like I was in a haunted house, and it just had, I don't know, it was firing on all levels. And there's some camera work in the show too. I know I talked about it in Pluribus earlier, but there's some in this as well, little small moments. And I'm like, wow, what a shot right there. But so it's well made, well acted, production, like design when it comes to the times of like when it takes place, like in the, I want to say late 40s, early 50s. I thought it's done a good job. I'm just not like the biggest horror person, and I know you're not either. But I think the hardest thing so far on me was probably it's like episode 2 or 3 when they're experiencing like some nightmarish, awake nightmares. But it's the little girl whose dad's like under investigation. Her mom.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that was probably the hardest thing to watch for me so far. Pretty sinister, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think the way that they've treated Pennywise in the show has been really good in the extent of
Mhm.
like building him up and not showing him.
Right.
I think they've done
Makes
a
it even
really good
worse.
job at that. Or even, well, I know we talked about that on like you said about Predator Badlands with the different creatures, and we mentioned also the Alien Earth show introducing different creatures. I feel like the little
Mhm.
demon baby character being introduced, scarier maybe even than
Golly,
Pennywise.
man.
I don't know,
That was,
just
yeah.
nightmare fuel like come to life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's done a good
Understatement.
job, like I said, on the scariness and horror. And if you're into all that, then I think it's definitely, again, it doesn't hold back on any of that on television, and has done a really good job of, I think, keeping interest around each episode, adding some like sci-fi elements and stuff. You can definitely see like the Stephen King touch more, I feel like, in the show than maybe in the movies. Like
Mhm.
I think about like the ability, like The Shining, that he has in the movie The Shining, or Doctor Sleep, like the one character who's a soldier who has like that internal compass sort of thing going on.
Right.
Just more of the supernatural. Again, I even think about like Green Mile too, with like the being able to touch somebody and see their past and things. And I
Yep.
feel like elements like that are introduced that you don't really see in the It movies at all. So it definitely feels like it delves more into like the Stephen King universe.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to build something here,
Yeah, especially if they're
which
doing
is
multiple
cool.
seasons. Yeah. Um, but but yeah, I've enjoyed it more than I think I thought that I would. I knew it was being hyped up a lot. People were excited about it. That got me, pretty excited. But I didn't expect to. I don't think enjoy it as much as I have so far.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the same way. I like the movies, but I didn't think I'd care as much about the show as I do right now. For me, the scene in the woods was, I loved that scene. That was intense.
Oh yeah.
With the young James Reamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, the
that
flashback
was
sequence,
that
that whole
was
stuff
intense.
was really good. The little female Pennywise at the circus, and the whole
Mm-hmm.
nightmare sequence inside the fun house or whatever it's called, the House of Mirrors.
Yeesh.
That
Mm-hmm.
was wild and creepy. Yeah, I think every episode has delivered on being like that creepy, scary horror, and even tidbits of like supernatural elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
You'll like the new episode.
the hardest part to me, I think, I'm not trying to really spoil anything at all, but after the first episode, it's hard to become attached to anybody in the show. I think that's
Yeah, for
the
sure.
difficult
There's only a
part.
couple because of who they are in the books, and like they,
Yeah, they
so
go
like,
on to
but
appear in the other
a
ones, but
lot of them,
like any
you
of your
know,
real main characters, like you have no clue what's going to happen and stuff, which in a way it's like it's exciting and cool
I do
because
like it. It's got Game of Thrones vibes. Not
yeah,
everybody's safe,
yeah.
or
And
no
as weird
one's
as it
safe, really.
sounds, one of my favorite little things in the show, very small, but their little safe house that they have that has like the beautiful
Yeah,
view of Derry.
that is.
I
Yeah,
love that as like a home base or headquarters. Or I just think if I was a kid and we had a place like that to visit, that would be the
that'd be
coolest thing in
awesome.
the world.
Yes, I'd be there all day.
Yeah, some stuff like that, or even like some of the way the characters interact, and a lot of stuff, I mean, has you on the edge. I mean, one small thing, again, not trying to spoil or go into much detail, but a couple episodes ago with Eyes, or yeah, I think that was 2 episodes
Oh,
ago at
it was
school,
last week.
and yeah, that's what I meant. Like, not
Yeah,
this last
right.
episode, the episode
Not the
before.
newest.
Yeah, that was terrifying. I mean, there's
I
some
didn't
stuff
like
that has me. Yeah, like whenever it gets like gross and just over the top, that's when I just don't enjoy it. I mean, it works for me when there's like a comedic element to it. I always reference something like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, or
Oh
Evil
god.
Dead 2, like when it's just over the top and gross. But when you add the comedy element, I think it makes it better. But when it's just like trying to do it to gross you out and be disturbing and things, I don't know. I just don't enjoy it. Which I guess you're not
Right.
really supposed to, but I don't, it's not my cup of tea for what I want to watch. But most of the time I feel like it's not that, and it's just been a good show so far, and I really am excited to watch the newest episode. Or it's been a good like weekly watch. There's been a lot in the last few months that have been fun for like weekly watches. But yeah, I'd recommend, like, again, if you're into any of the stuff that we just talked about, then yeah, definitely check it out. And if you're an It fan, then 100% check it out, because it's
100%, yes.
definitely, I feel like does the backstory justice and gives you a whole lot of new elements. And I know that the origins of Pennywise, I don't think it's ever really been that explained in movies or anything.
No,
I know that
not in the movies.
Online people have like talked about it in the past, or it's in the books, but for the first time they actually like explore that in this show, and I was really fascinated to see that like come to screen. I was glad that they did that, even though it's very weird, but I just like that they like stuck to that, I guess to say. But yeah, last few things here. Let's go ahead and talk Chair Company.
Yes, let's do that.
So again, I'm gonna also
Tim Robinson is a god. He is a comedic god, and that's all there is to it. That's all you need to know. He cannot do anything wrong.
Between Friendship and that this year, he's been on a tear, it feels like, especially doing things like, I guess his comedy's always had some undertones of other things, like usually creepy and awkwardness. I feel like
Right.
a lot of the time is the best way I know how to put it. But in Friendship and this, like, we talked about before about how Friendship seemed like it could have more of like a thriller and almost scary element to it, which at times it had a little bit of, but it didn't go as much into that as I thought it would. But this one also has, I mean, the conspiracy thriller element, like when it's getting into stuff, although like from an objective point of view, the stuff that he's looking into or what he's doing is just hilarious. But
you're
like,
right.
when you're taking it from his perspective, like it's on the edge, or he's getting like these phone calls and things like that. Like
I mean,
phone calls,
dude,
like,
people at his house.
yeah, it's not straight
like
comedy, or I'm not like
No.
it's not trying to be, and it isn't like just like something that you're like laughing at all the time. And that's not to say that it's not absolutely hilarious and laugh out loud funny throughout a lot of the show, but I like that it has like those different elements intertwined into it, like dramatic. Or even there's a scene between like him and his daughter, or even like when he's talking with his daughter's fiance's like dad, like that scene about whatever makes him happy, like we don't have much time on this earth, all this stuff. And like they're both, I mean, the other dad's kind of weeping in a funny way, but like there's some good like heartwarming, I guess, elements even throughout the show as well, or even the dynamic between him and his wife. And there's some regular everyday stuff that I think is used really well in the show, but it's still just so funny, man. The red ball and the chairs in general, and they're using the chairs to bring in the
everything about this show is outrageous in the best way possible. The opening episode when he's at dinner with his family and the girl comes up and she's like, I don't think I've ever been to a mall. And he's like, oh, you have. You've been to a mall. And she's like, no, I don't think He's like, yeah, you have. And he's just getting really mad.
This is a mall. The restaurant's a mall, kind of.
He's like, no, it's not.
I don't know why I said that. She was having flustered.
I've said it once.
Between him and his boss too. Talking about uncomfortable.
Lou Diamond Phillips, baby.
Yeah,
I can't believe he's in the show. Honestly,
he's so funny, man.
Yeah,
even though he's never trying to be funny, it doesn't seem like he's just so funny. Don't lean on the wall. This is an office.
The guy with the dent in his head, in the chowder, or what was it, soup he's eating, and he's like, whenever he told the guy, like, hey, your sleeve's gonna get in your soup. Do you remember that?
I don't really remember that right now. No,
it's the episode when he gets knocked. Oh, I don't try. It's the episode I was talking about earlier where he has to go to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
He's in that bar and he tells that guy, like, hey, your sleeve's gonna dip into your soup. Like he's just trying to help him out, and the dude gets like, so he's like, "Hey, this guy's trying to tell me to fix my sleeve so it doesn't get dirty. What an idiot!" Like for no reason, and he just starts dipping his elbow into the soup for no reason over and over.
That's
He's
one
like,
thing
"Look, haha."
you can know about Tim Robinson comedy is it will go in directions and do things that nobody else would ever do. It's so,
Like you could never think of, and you're just like,
No.
"Wow, that is hilarious!" Like,
yeah.
who thinks of this stuff, man?
Yeah, I don't. His brain is something that definitely needs to be studied by science. I feel like.
His delivery of lines are just unreal.
Yeah,
Unreal.
100%. He's so like he can be. I don't even know, like his weird range that he has between being like full of rage, screaming and just aggressive and violent towards people almost, but then he'll also have like these moments of like so soft spoken or like. I think about even just like I don't know why it's popping up in my head, but like from I think you should leave the nachos thing. The what? What? You think I would
What
do
are you
what?
talking about?
What are you talking? What's even happening right now? And he has that, and then he goes,
You late
"Pretty
for the
much
movie?"
cheeseburger, pretty much." Like I don't know, like his
How he goes
energy-
from that to
yeah, his energy range. He's so like unpredictable of a character. Like you could see him lashing out in this instance, but in instances where you think he might lash out, he's just kind of like, "It's whatever, man. It's all good." Like I don't know. He's so weird, man, and the show is so weird. But it's really been one of my favorite things I've been watching. And again, I like that. I just keep referencing everything to it, but I get some like Severance vibes even out of this.
Yeah, right.
The conspiracy stuff.
I wish
and
Tim
all
was
that.
in Severance so bad.
Oh, that would be a treat to watch for sure. I just want to see him in so many different things, but yeah.
I've said it. I just let him make something every like couple months. I just want everything he can make. I want all the content.
Yeah,
he's so ridiculously funny for no reason.
I feel like he's kind of recharged a lot of the comedy drama in the comedy genre in the last 10 years, but has done it
Whenever
in a way that's
he
so weird.
when he goes into the shirt store and the guy like, he's like, "Oh yeah,"
You know
he's like
Yeah,
"You know who he is."
know him.
He's like, "Yeah."
You gotta join the
He gets him
club
to sign up.
And as soon as he signs up, he's like, "Yes." And he said, "You don't know who he is, do you?" "No, I don't know who he is." Oh God. Yeah, he's so funny, dude.
Please watch this show. It's on HBO. Please watch this show. It's the finale is this coming Sunday. The episodes are like 30 minutes max. Wait till it's finished and just watch them all in a row. I mean, it's just insanely funny for no reason. The stuff that he does, but it does have a plot, a story, what he's trying to get done. The model thing, whenever he's like, "I lost to this guy."
Yeah. Yeah. Or as soon as you feel like you start to actually uncover something, unravel it, it's like, oh, this is like another dead end, or this is just a ploy for them to, basically have him running around chasing his own tail.
Oh gosh.
There's so many great moments in it that I don't think will ever leave me, whether I'd like them to or not. But yeah, it's definitely been funny, and
it's got a 7.6 right now, but it's way higher than that. I'm sorry, bias maybe, but
it's everything that I've like kind of expected or wanted out of the show. So it's been really good. Totally mean, that and Pluribus have probably been out of the current stuff on television right now. Like again, I've been enjoying Welcome to Derry a whole lot, but they're just more my cup of tea, I guess to say.
And just to play on a little connection here, his daughter played Beverly in the It movies, the new movies.
Oh yeah. I knew that when I saw her.
Sophia something.
Yeah. Yeah, she does good.
I think she was in the new Dungeons and Dragons movie as well.
Yeah, she was
underrated, honestly.
Highly underrated. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we could just go scene by scene and
I could literally just turn this on right now and watch it and tell you. I can just reenact it for you. It's hilarious, genuinely hilarious. Yeah. Please watch the show.
Yeah, very good to check out. HBO Max, so highly recommend. All right, final two. Do we want to do another show or movie? If you know which ones are left, but
let's do the show. We'll finish up with the movie.
Okay. The Lowdown, Ethan Hawke, came out on Hulu. Also has Keith David. Is it Kyle McClanahan? What's his name again? I'm blanking right now.
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. That's
McLaughlin.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick pause before we dive in. Just super quick. Remind me whenever we get when we get done with this pod, I have to talk to you about him and somebody else in a video, like a funny video.
Okay.
Just don't let me forget. Continue.
Yeah, them also has Tim Blake Nelson, who he was from like Oh Brother Where Art Thou. He played Buster Scruggs in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I think he was also in the Holes movie. Yeah, wow.
Yep.
Well, how do we both reference that at the same time?
Great movie.
Yeah, very formative movie. I've been talking about that movie recently, funny enough. Scott Shepherd, who always plays a bad guy, I feel like, and always a creepy,
and does
one
it
of
well.
the creepiest people ever. Yeah. He's in it a good
True
bit.
Detective Season 3.
Yes, almost forgot about that. He's really good in it as always. The whole cast does a great job. Peter Dinklage has a guest star appearance, which I think I could see getting nominated for an Emmy performance for best guest star. Yeah, it's a show. It's kind of going back to a little bit of conspiracy stuff. Ethan Hawke plays like a writer for it's like a local magazine, really, but he calls a local publication in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's also a bookstore owner, but he's investigating a local family within Tulsa that's had a lot of power and money over the last, feels like 100 or 200 years in the area. Historic, powerful family, and one of them's running for governor, that being Kyle McLaughlin. Is it McLaughlin? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Kyle McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Yeah. He plays a guy that's running for governor in the family. Tim Blake Nelson plays his brother, who shortly into the show commits suicide, an apparent suicide, but Ethan Hawke's character's uncovering the nature of his suicide and just the family and their ties, what all they're into, the dirty side, I guess, of the family. Really, really good show. They had a 2-episode premiere when it first came out. Wasn't that impressed, even though I was really excited for the show. Love Ethan Hawke. Wasn't that impressed off the first 2 episodes, but as it went on, I felt like it got better and better. Still one of my favorite episodes is probably when they go looking for the books that have been bought, like out at the marina or wherever.
Right. Yeah.
I just really, really enjoyed the structure of a lot of the episodes, or the way that they follow plot lines, or, each episode, it's kind of like an old school TV show where it's like, it's still progressing. It's not trying to do so much, but it's like, okay, he's got the books, or he doesn't get the books, but he's got this instead, which gives him like another through line to the next episode and to continue his investigation. It's kind of like neo-noir, I guess, with the themes of it a little bit.
I got Fargo vibes from this show. Not to the full extent of what a Fargo season would have been like, but a lot of it kind of gave me
I even think about stuff like Chinatown, honestly. I feel like there are your like femme fatales and things like that, and it does feel like I don't know, just like those old school neo-noir black and whites, but just if it was made in the modern day with those like same elements. Like, again, they have like a femme fatale, I feel like, in Tim Blake Nelson's wife a little bit. I don't know. I think you could just dissect it as a neo-noir. But anyways, I love the investigative side of it. Each episode, like I said, after the first 2, I felt like kept leveling up and taking the show in great different directions. Again, the Peter Dinklage episode was also one of the standouts. The dynamic between Ethan Hawke and him. The
ending of that episode was...
Yeah, dude. There were times in the show, I think I was tearing up when they were sitting around a little bonfire.
When they were doing their annual
get together remembrance. The dynamic between him and his daughter as well, and even his ex-wife and things that they throw around. I love Ethan Hawke's character so much in the show, the character development that he kind of undergoes throughout the investigation. Keith David is a legend.
Legendary
voices and faces, I feel like, on screen. And the character that he has is great as well. Love when he's doing his it's like Tinder dating thing when he goes out on that date.
Oh, that was so random, but I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, again, it goes in a lot of different directions that keep you on your toes or surprises you. And there's some parts that I think about when he actually gets kidnapped a couple times in the show. No big spoilers.
Seems
but,
like a reoccurring theme.
beaten up and
He gets just beat down quite a bit.
Yeah, like I said, the lowdown should have been called the
Tough son of a
beatdown.
gun.
But
Right. Yeah, right.
Whenever he gets kidnapped at one point and he gets taken out to this unruly party, let's just say.
Oh my gosh.
Like
that was disturbing.
Yeah, the lighting, the sound design of that scene, and like the lighting on like the character that he ends up meeting at the end of the sequence. It was just like kind of terrifying. A lot of episodes ending where I'm like, man, I can't wait for the next episode. And like I said, it just really it let me down at first, and then it brought me right back in.
It was a definite start off of a slow burn for sure.
Yeah, I was just like, man, maybe this isn't like as like everything that I was looking forward to it being. But by the end of the first season, I was like, oh, it's just been so good. One of the better week to week releases I've watched this year for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Ethan Hawke, and I felt like it was just kind of him being himself in the movie, to be honest with you. Like, or in the show, I said movie, but he's an executive producer of it.
Right.
And everything. It felt like he kind of got to let loose more. And from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, like he talks a lot about music and art and different things like that he references in the show that his character's into, and it just feels like kind of Ethan Hawke being Ethan Hawke if he was an investigative journalist, you know. Wasn't like what you described in like Blue Moon, where I feel like he's playing a whole different person. Of course, it's just kind of he's very much himself, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, there was whenever he gets that jacket towards the end of the series, he gets that Native American jacket.
Yeah.
And he said, "How do I look?" Or she said, "You look good." He's like, I don't know if he said it or somebody said it to him. He's, "I look like Davy Crockett banged Steven Seagal." And I just I died. I was like, that is so. I don't know why it was so funny to me.
There are so many funny moments, even like when they're talking about him having to offer up the jacket. Like if somebody in the Native American tradition, if somebody says they like something, then you're supposed to give it to them. And he's like, that doesn't seem right. And then he ends up giving it away. But he's like, this jacket cost me like $200. But yeah, another we talked about him before, I believe, but off the podcast. But I think he's another bookstore owner or just a friend of his.
Yes,
I can't remember his name right now, but he does such a good job in the show, especially that episode I talked about when they're like out at the marina and the restaurant and everything.
Yeah, at the restaurant.
Yeah, when he's introduced, but. Yeah, he does such a good job in the show. Again, all the acting top to bottom was great. There was even characters like his little quote unquote bodyguards for the store.
Oh my gosh.
Security that he hires.
Allegedly.
Yeah, at first I couldn't really stand them, to be honest with you. But then as the show went on, like everybody got to feel like likable and familiar. I also love like the Main Street sort of feel that they have with like the street that his bookstore's on, that's like next to a law office of a guy that he knows, and down the street from this like bodega or whatever, like that whole little street that they have introducing different people from each store, like it brings it like a small town feel. And also like using Tulsa as a location, I feel like is there's a lot of deep history there and themes to take out of there that from a journalist standpoint that you could go in a lot just on the location of Tulsa that doesn't get used a lot in other things, except for I guess Tulsa King. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't recommend this show enough. I enjoyed it so much and love Ethan Hawke. Based off one season, I'd give it about an 86, I think.
I think I'm probably just going to copy that because that's about where I would put it too. I really enjoyed that. I wish we could have got more. I understand why. Like it ended just fine, but I wish we could have got more. Yeah,
I can't wait to see more of that, hopefully. And again, Ethan Hawke in general, he's just a really good actor. I don't know what it is, man, but he's very just likable guy.
Yep.
It seems very smart.
Go see this, watch this, and watch Blue Moon, please.
Yeah, more Ethan. We can call it the Ethan Hawke episode, but yeah, Lowdown is on Hulu, by the way. It was premiering on FX and Hulu, but yeah,
FX just puts out bangers, man.
Again, it just feels like a show that it's kind of, it's not like out of place, but it's like I don't know, it feels like an old school type TV show. Again, made in the modern era, just by the I guess like in the investigative side or the way that the episodes happened, or I don't know what it was, but it had like a vintage like 70s I don't know, soulful sort of feel to a lot of the show, or even the design of it. Love the poster, by the way, for the show.
Yes, yes,
awesome poster.
I was looking at that on IMDb earlier.
I know floating heads and all that stuff's been done so much, but it's a really good poster. But yeah, definitely check that out. All right, all leading up to Bugonia. Yorgos Lanthimos, who's done Poor Things, he's done The Favorite, he's done, I don't even remember all the stuff he's done, to be honest with you. He did a movie last year also with Jesse Plemons.
He has done The Lobster, Poor Things, The Killing of Sacred Deer, which is wild.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some more. I'm just trying to look at the ones that some people would know.
There was one that came out towards the end of last year that was not very popular and wasn't very highly rated. But like I said, I also had Jesse Plemons. Yeah, Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah, it had Emma and Jesse in it, and Margaret Qualley.
William Dafoe in that one too. He's just William Dafoe with this like new era of directors. Apparently, everybody wants William Dafoe.
They love him. They love him, which is understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bugonia, Jesse Plemons plays a conspiracy-filled beekeeper, I guess you'd call him.
A Beatrice, or what are they called?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. You would have thought that Jason Statham would have taught us that.
Great movie.
Yeah, right. A
Pierce.
Okay. I guess he's like a hobby.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He does it for a hobby, really into bees. Turns out works for kind of a shipping, works in shipping and packaging for a company that turns out that Emma Stone owns. So maybe a little bit of a spoiler there. But yeah, she is kidnapped by Jesse Plemons and his dim-witted cousin. I'm trying to remember. We just had this conversation the other day. I keep forgetting his name in the movie because Jesse Plemons is Teddy. Cousin is Dawn. Dim-witted cousin is Dawn. And Emma Stone plays Michelle. She's a high-profile CEO of a big pharma company that is kidnapped by Jesse Plemons and his cousin. They are conspiracy riddled, and they believe that she is an alien from the Andromeda galaxy. Been sent here to basically destroy humanity and overtake humanity, all that stuff. So, I don't even know where to begin with a movie like this.
I don't really know what to say. I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, I'm trying to think of how to say what I want. First of all, Jesse Plemons was phenomenal.
Absolutely. Award worthy for sure.
Phenomenal.
He's the
Emma Stone did very well too.
Yeah, she did great. I'm just not used to like her not being one of my most talked about things, but Jesse Plemons to me was by far and away like the best in the movie.
Better at the very least be nominated.
I agreed with you.
At the very least.
I was actually telling Paul the other day, I listened to a Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns interview afterwards. Review of the movie afterwards. And I believe it was Stuckman. I don't want to put it off on one of them, but I believe it was Stuckman. Somebody said something along the lines for Jesse Plemons that they didn't know if he could play like a guy that has you on the edge of your seat or tense or creepy or all these things like that.
Have they seen Civil War?
Psychotic. Well, number one thing I thought of was, have you seen Breaking Bad? Like the way that this guy popped off in the last 10 years with Todd, that is exactly the type of character that he is that makes you feel uncomfortable. He's psychotic. And who is this guy?
He's just a pure sociopath in that.
Yeah. And I feel like he's not too far off that in this. Like,
he's 100% that in this movie. I mean,
just to doubt
obviously
that,
he
was insane to me. I was like, I know he
mental
could do
health
that.
issues, but
yeah,
I think this is more mental health issues than just being a sociopath. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
There was things that I loved about the movie, and there were things that I really didn't like about the movie. I think it's a pretty good
thing in particular
piece. The ending.
Yeah. Not the full ending, but
the
the
last
part
5 minutes of it, 5-10 minutes.
not the last like 2 minutes of the movie, but the 2 minutes before that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't really care for that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought. Here's my issue. I think with the movie, and I don't know whether to call it a tone issue or not, but it does a good job of like getting you familiar with Teddy's character, a little bit with Don's character, a little bit with Michelle's character, mostly Teddy. Like this is his movie.
Right.
This is Jesse Plemons' movie, and most of it is seen from like his perspective, and that's the character that you're following along with the most. You're supposed to be sympathizing with Emma Stone's character, but mostly you're seeing Jesse Plemons, and you know he sees himself as the protagonist of the story, and that's the way that you're almost made to see him.
Right.
I thought that they treated his character with a lot of seriousness. I felt like on his backstory, like the tragedy of some of his backstory and what's made him who he is now. I felt like just the way that they ended up with each of the three main characters between Don, Teddy, and Michelle, I thought they all had terrible endings. In my opinion, I thought it was all a setup for kind of a bad joke for each of them. I thought Don's ending was very quick, and
I thought Don probably had the best ending.
Probably the best. I thought he had
because it made sense.
Tragic. Yeah, and it made sense, and it was very tragic because nobody was listening to him throughout the whole movie. Like when he's spilling his heart to Michelle at the end, she's like, you know, whatever he's saying, like to tell. She's
trying to use him to.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well now let me go, sort of thing. Like she's not hearing what he's saying, or she's not really realizing what he's about to do, but I feel like the audience can tell that because they're listening to him. And the same thing with Teddy, like he's talking about from a procedure, I guess, that they've undergone. I guess I'll say that. That it's had him feeling different and weird and sad and all these things. And Teddy's like, yeah, you'll be fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
like,
you'll get over it. You'll get past it.
I thought he was, his ending was just, I mean, his whole character was really just sad and the way that he was being like used and things like that. But it just felt so quick and like a move on thing, or even with, I'm trying to dodge around spoilers, but the antifreeze, like whatever happens with that, that feels like it should have been a lot more of a character break, I guess, for Teddy's character, like to go really off the deep end. And for a moment he has that, but then he doesn't. And again, Michelle's character, I don't even know what to think about her. She has pretty much zero character development. She doesn't really ever have true sympathy, it feels like. I know that's how she's supposed to come off, as just like a
a cold-hearted CEO.
Yeah, corporate and corporate speak and all that stuff. But I don't know, just by the end of it, I felt pretty disconnected from everybody. And like I said, most connected to Teddy throughout most of the thing, even though psychotic and crazy and all those things. But just really his character development and his story. But I feel like it's ultimately a lead up to like a gross punchline, and the same thing for Michelle, and the same thing for the whole movie. Like, I don't know, like it just feels like it's trying to say something about the age of conspiracies and conspiracy theorists and that whole mental illness of it, and really what would happen if a conspiracy riddled person thinking that these people are aliens or lizard people or whatever it might be, actually got to sit down with these billionaires like a Jeff Bezos type character and have that interrogation. And whenever they were having their back and forth conversations and dialogue, I always thought that was the best part of the movie, their battle of wits, I guess to say, even though Teddy wasn't the most intelligent guy. It was just their back and forth was always the best part to me. But I really feel like that conversation didn't really go anywhere. It didn't really change either one of them. Maybe that's how it is. I just feel like it was more of definitely a nihilistic viewpoint of the world or of people. And that's how it all ended up. But throughout most of the movie, I didn't really feel like it was that way. It was like, let's do a character study or dive into this story but also let's just treat it like it's a joke almost at the same time. I know people have said dark comedy and comedy about this movie, but there wasn't really many moments where I was like laughing out loud. Like it was much more tense and creepy and weird than it was, I think, like funny.
One part in particular I laughed really hard at, but yeah, I don't think there was a lot of comedic parts at all. I mean, it's not funny, but anytime Stavros was on screen, it was funny.
Yeah,
even if he was talking about some,
I'm not the biggest fan of him. Oh yeah, yeah.
When he basically says, "Hey, but I never did that anymore, so it makes it okay." Like that was just outrageous thing to say.
Yeah, well, especially when you're just kind of left to guess on what exactly he did.
Yeah,
but I think we all have a pretty good idea of what that was.
Yeah, I think we know.
Unfortunately.
And when he talks about how he would drive by, he was like, "I always feel sad when I drive by this place, like he's a victim." And
well, I said, okay, since we know that Teddy is the guy that kidnaps, that's no spoiler.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. It shows up in the trailer.
Just to spoil a little bit of Stavros' character, being like a local police officer, has a couple interactions with Teddy. Apparently he's known him from the past and used to be like a babysitter for him. He the scene where he shows up to the house, I felt like that was actually one of the better parts for me, because it felt like while simultaneously I felt like he knew that Teddy was the person that had kidnapped her and was the person that did this, and all the stars lined up. Like he wasn't the smartest guy in the world, but even he's like, "Are you sure you didn't?" Or, just out of curiosity,
you didn't see that car
you at the time? Or, yeah, just so happened this ping a tower nearby. I don't believe it's you, but I just have to ask these. It's just formalities or whatever. Like on one hand, I feel like he was just doing it for the formalities, but I feel like in the back of his mind, he knew it was Teddy, but I think he was blaming himself for the way that Teddy is, rather than seeing more of like Teddy's like, I don't even care. That's not even really a part of my story in my head. It's more really the relationship between him and his mom and his family that means much more to him than whatever Stav did in the past. But I think the fact that he couldn't let it go and he still felt so much guilt over it and had never like forgave himself or moved on from that, I felt like he was just like, I don't want it to be Teddy, because that would mean that I'm also in a way at fault. And if Teddy's ever interrogated, maybe he brings me up. I don't know. I felt like guilt played so much of a role in his mind. Like I said, there was stuff like that I thought was so well done and well written within the story. So like at times I was like, man, this movie's like really, really good. And some full circle moments in the movies and things that I really liked, but I don't know. I just kind of had a bad taste a little bit coming out of the movie and just kind of up and down on it. I don't know. I just, in some ways I want to recommend it. In other ways I'm like, I don't know. Because even like I said, the way it's been marketed since the release of the movie, like Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons are like kind of calling it a comedy, or that's the way that Yorgo sees it too, apparently. And I'm just like, I feel like that's a cheap cop out because it's, I don't know, maybe not as serious, or it doesn't have as much to say as maybe you would like it to. So let's just call it a comedy. Let's not take it that seriously. But I feel like it also begs to be taken seriously at the time. Yeah.
That he probably believes it is a comedy. Yorgos, I mean.
Yeah, I could see it like that too. But like I said, it was kind of, not that I'm not for like doom and gloom every now and then and stuff. It had more of that to me and didn't really have much to offer on the topic. It's like, hey, let's talk about the topic, but I'm not really going to offer you anything new or take it in a new direction or try to like create some resolution, any of that stuff. It's all meaningless.
Alicia Silverstone,
whatever.
Being the mom was kind of random.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know why. Just like, that was so random.
Yeah.
I think Dawn was the best character personally.
Yeah, I mean, really, for the most part, yeah.
I mean, Jesse definitely put in the best performance without a doubt, but the opening scene, or I guess it isn't the opening scene, but the scene where they go to kidnap her is hilarious. That is funny. When she pretty much is just beating the crap out of him.
Oh, yeah. Well, it shows early on that she can take care of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said,
I don't know. The more I think about it, I do remember like comedic, like well, I don't want to. I try not to ruin anything. Towards the end, when they leave and go somewhere together. Towards the very end, and he's concealing his weapon. That made me laugh out loud. Just how he looked walking with that was just stupid. But
yeah,
I definitely understand where you're coming from. I don't really see it as a true dark comedy. I do see comedic elements, but it seemed way more serious to me than a comedy.
Yeah,
it just seemed like a study on mental health and conspiracy theorists. And
yeah,
like I said, I didn't like
really liked it.
The second to the end part. I could have done without that, but
yeah.
I'd still recommend it to go see it, but
yeah,
it's something. I really didn't know what to expect going in, but
no, I mean, I felt like I kind of, even like with the plot twist, let's call it, I don't really feel like it was much of one, because going in and knowing it was Yorgos Lanthimos, I'm like, this is very well a possibility that this could turn out to be this way. And, joke's on you, it is.
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, in ways, I think it was like really good and really well done and very different. And I mean, definitely well acted for sure.
Right.
And I can't say that the directing, like of the camera or cinematography, was bad by any means. And it felt definitely more grounded or in the real world than his other ones for sure. I don't know. I just felt like he couldn't almost like help himself with some of the stuff he was doing. It's like, no, I have to infuse a lot of elements I've used in past movies, or strange things or supernatural things that I need to throw into this. And I just felt like a lot of that stuff, like I said, was unneeded. And when it was just like you said, like a character study on a mentally ill conspiracy theorist, and taking that, like I said, like, for the most part seriously, that's when I enjoyed it the most. But when it was just trying to turn itself on its own head and all the characters on their heads and all that stuff, I was just like, so you built this up to become attached to them, to get to know them, to understand them, and then it's just like, well, that's it. I mean, there's really nowhere to go from there. Like I said, there's no true character development, it feels like, for anybody in it. And I guess maybe that's something I just desire within a movie. I know it may be more like real life to not have that stuff, or more quote unquote realistic, but I don't know. Like I said, it just felt very nihilistic, and I didn't think that it necessarily had to go into those elements for me personally. I would give it this is where it gets hard on what to even score this movie.
I got
76, and maybe a little high.
I gave it 84.
84? Dang, son.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people love it. Yeah, well, even like the word of mouth when the movie first came out, and everybody I know that has gone to see it, they like adore it. Yeah. Like I said, there are parts of it that I do adore, and other parts that I'm just like, kind of ruin the movie a little bit for me. Well, 3.5 hours later.
Hey, we did it. We had a lot to cover up, catch up on though, and cover and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely, especially without considering no box office talk and no news talk, we made the most out of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, yeah, I guess that's really about it. Anything else you want to say before we end the episode?
Trying to think if we missed anything that I wanted to say. I don't really think so. No, I don't guess so.
Well, one thing movie related I do want to say last is I hope this Warner Brothers deal goes down okay.
Yeah.
Definitely a topic of discussion I'll be bringing up in the future, maybe delving into, especially depending on how it's going. It's Paramount, Comcast, Universal, and Netflix are your three
Please
bidders.
Not Netflix.
Yeah, I think Comcast is looking like probably the best bidder, but I think it's going to ultimately end up going to Paramount. And anyways, that's definitely something to unravel. It's just kind of a whole sad situation in general. for Warner Brothers being in the position where they're needing to sell, especially considering the run that they've had this year, both on the small screen and on the big screen. It's like, you know, they're having a crazy run out of all the studios the last 10 years. They're going off right now, but best time to sell, same time. Anyways, well, thank you guys for, if you made it to the end, again, you deserve gold stars.
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's getting to spend
Enjoy
some time
it.
with the family. Yeah, enjoy your time.
Get some good food.
Off from work and stuff. I have to work on Thanksgiving, but I already had my family Thanksgiving this last weekend.
There you go. Get you some good pay.
Yeah, get some good pay. That's the best part about it. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us for another edition of the Holy Slick podcast. Again, podcast episode number 10. We'll be back with you guys soon, and don't expect too many more 3.5 hour long episodes.
Right.
We don't usually have this much to talk about, but it's just been so long since our last episode. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and until next time, we'll see you at the movies.
See ya.